Hi, everybody. Welcome out to the Logroom Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, February the 20th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you. And with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
I'm having a pie malfunction.
You're having a pie malfunction. You have a malfunctioning pie.
I do.
Sorry to hear that. It's a personal problem.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
I may be done with this.
All right.
Which is a shame.
So one of those single pies, kind of one of those things. Yeah. I like the old boxes better. I don't like the new boxes.
Yeah. I like the tasty cake ones.
I like the tasty. Yeah, the tasty cake ones are good. So what kind of a pie is that, sir?
A very structurally unsound one.
Yes. What flavor is that structurally unsound pie that you're eating there?
Well, that is the flavor. Structurally unsound.
Structurally unsound.
I should have known better.
Should have known better.
Well, old-fashioned structurally unsound pie.
There you go. Should have known better.
No,
that's another.
That's cherry.
That's another 80s group. Cherry pie.
Yeah, this pie is no longer cherry though.
Cherry pie. Yeah, you know what? That cherry pie looks like it would make a grown man cry. On that note, happy national.
Because of copyright rules, we can't play the song.
We can't play the song. Yeah. So happy National Cherry Pie Day.
I didn't knock them.
We can't say the words.
No one wants to hear us sing.
No, I didn't say sing the words. I said say the words.
Oh, say the words. You're my cherry pie maker.
She's my cherry.
She's my cherry pie.
Cool drink of water, such a sweet surprise.
Yeah, it tastes so good, make a grown man cry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, enough of that. Enough of Cherry Pie Day.
Enough of Cherry Pie Day. There you go. So, how are you?
I didn't give you all the days today. It's also
it's
also Toothpick Day.
It's Toothpick Day
to get the cherry pits.
Well, to get the cherry pits out of your mouth after you eat the cherry pie. Of course, that makes sense.
Yeah, that'll work. It's National Handcuff Day. For those of you who celebrate.
I mean, all of this is kind of coming together. It all makes sense. You know?
Cherry pie, handcuffs,
and the other one we'll talk about in a minute, but let's leave that alone. Again,
it all
goes together. So I got I walked in a deli today for lunch.
Yes, what did you get for lunch, John?
I asked if I could. I asked the deli clerk if I could buy a ham and cheese on a roll with pickles.
Ham and cheese.
And she said, "No, we only take cash."
I've not known many delis that take pickle in trade.
Right, exactly. So she misunderstood me. There you
go. Yeah, that's a complete freaking wise ass.
Did I ever tell you about my friend that for Christmas he took his son to an apple orchard?
He took his son to an apple orchard.
And he took his son to an orchard, and he stood there looking around, and his son was completely disappointed. I guess it wasn't the Apple Watch he was looking for.
I see.
So.
That one's really bad.
I was bad. I know. I'm trying to get bad ones. I'm trying to say bad ones here. So. For Christmas, I only got one gift.
Yeah.
We got a deck of sticky playing cards.
Sticky playing cards.
I have a hard time dealing with them.
Yeah.
Right.
Knew that was coming.
All right, there you go. I'm done. There you go.
I have a step ladder.
Do you?
Yeah. My real ladder left me when I was
your real ladder left you when you were long. Yeah. Gosh. All righty. On that note, we've lost our three guests that were watching already.
I thought this was about beer, not about idiots.
Not about somebody eating a cherry pie.
It's just idiots eating and telling stupid dad jokes.
I know. Well, it is also National Muffin Day, which also fits the bill, but we'll leave that alone.
Yeah, we're going to not go there.
So happy National Muffin Day.
Wait a second. Whose muffins were they?
The Muffin Man.
No, not the Muffin Man. On SNL, Betty White.
Oh, her Dusty Muffins.
Dusty Muffins.
Her Dusty Muffin.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We're not going to do that again.
No.
But no, yes. No, so who makes the muffins?
The Muffin Man makes the muffins.
The Muffin Man?
Muffin Man, yeah.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
Yeah, he lives on Drury Lane.
I know the Drury.
I do too.
I don't know if there's a lane named after him.
He might not have a lane. Why don't we bring him on and ask him?
Let's ask him if
Okay.
there's anything after him.
Please welcome to the show Antonio Alacron, otherwise known as Tony Drury.
Is there Drury Lane coming?
Hey.
Hi. Oh, hello. It's hot, man. I had to take my shirt off.
I was going to say, you are now. This is the first nudity we've had on the show.
Oh, all right.
Oh no, sorry, it is the second.
No, I don't know. That's more nudity.
That was expunged.
I still have my pants on. So
Oh, I know.
Dave doesn't. So.
So between the two of us, we're fully
I
drunk.
don't know that he's ever worn pants. I mean, I have never confirmed or denied that.
That's why they don't like me working in the office. You can work from home.
Exactly. So, so Tony, is there a Drury Lane?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of them. I've never been on one, but I've heard
I
tales.
got you.
People sent me photos throughout the years, for sure.
There you go.
There we go.
Are there any muffins in the photos?
No, that would have
No.
been next level.
That would have been next level.
Or there,
Very cool.
or go another level, and then there's a gingerbread man with no gumdrop buttons.
Exactly.
Oh man,
Exactly. So.
yeah. I'm kind of a muffin man myself, you know. I like a good muffin.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
You like
Actually,
cherry pie too?
I actually, well, of course, who doesn't? I actually had a muffin yesterday morning. I did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good for you.
Mhm.
Is there a joke?
No
there?
joke, no
Oh,
joke.
okay.
I was gonna make one, but it's for real. I actually had.
I just know that if there
I had a really good blueberry muffin yesterday morning.
All I know is that if it had been a muffin joke from you, it would have been corny.
Oh, man. All right, I'm out. I'm logging off.
All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
We'll see you next week.
All right. So, how are you, Tony? How is everything going in
Oh
Fort West?
man, I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, as they say. It's we're approaching the busy
You need
season
one of
out
these?
here. Oh yeah, hey, we got some of those here. I'll have to get them and
There it
bring me
is
one.
with its
here
head
now.
cut off.
There you go.
Oh, man.
Chicken with head cut up. There you go.
No, it's we've got we're coming up on spring break, and this is a really February's like the best month to be out here. The weather has been phenomenal. I mean, it's in the 70s every day, and really you wouldn't think so on the desert, but it's pretty nice.
You wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. Oh, we got a comment from Jim Pickett on Twitch. He says, "Yikes."
Yeah.
Was that about is it about the chicken or the jokes or
It's probably
Or
it could be both.
Were you shirtless? I don't
Or
know.
you shirtless. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
well, that's why I got it all dark. Yeah, I don't want you to have to see my nipples or anything.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah. I go like this every now and then. So anyway, just so you don't.
Especially when he's cold.
It's cold in here. Right? Exactly. Right. Anyway, so let's get beers open. Let's get beers open.
I already opened mine.
Tony, what are you drinking first?
I'm gonna do the Austin Beer Works Power and Elegance. This can is amazing. This is a Dragon Claw. Oh man, I can't even tell. Something from Vietnam, Taiwanese, early harvest Dolang. Man, a lot going on in this can, and inside of it, it's a rice lager.
There you go. That's what it looks like.
There you go.
That's a picture. Of
Nice. The graphics on the show are amazing.
it. Perfect. Nice. There it is.
Two different artists did the artwork on this can.
That's good.
There you go.
It's a collab, if I saw it correct, right? It's a collab
Yes,
with
correct.
a brewery in Seattle. Yeah, right.
Austin Beer Works is by far one of my top 5 favorite breweries anywhere, but definitely one of the best in Texas.
Awesome.
Nice. That's good to know.
All right, Dave, what are you drinking for your first?
I'm going with Revolution's Anti-Hero.
Okay.
Oh
It
yeah,
is-
that's a good one.
It is an American hop blitz, hence the. It's funny you're saying hop blitz. There's the quarterback, so I guess the quarterback's in trouble. So that's
Yep.
good.
That makes sense.
We have a question, John.
We have a question. Oh, we do have a question.
We have
Yes,
a
we do.
question.
The question from Jim Pickett is, how many fingers do you have?
From what I was hearing,
5 on that hand.
5 on
the
that
other
hand.
one.
5 in that hand.
That's if you. It's 10 if you count thumbs.
10 if you count thumbs, right?
That's
I
fingers.
have 10, and Dave.
I've 10. So that's.
It's a 30. We have 30 fingers, Jim. There you go. All right.
30 fingers.
30 fingers. All right. Well, he didn't specify who, so I figured he was talking about all of us. We might as well.
Yeah, good answer. Well, I guess that's up to him whether or not it was a good answer.
This is
Yeah.
very true. Very
Should
true.
say, what are you drinking, John?
Yeah, what are you drinking, John?
I am pouring it right now. I'm going all Tony related. You'll see what I mean in
Okay.
throughout the
Excited.
show.
I don't go Tony related to the end of the show, and you'll see.
Yes, exactly.
Ooh.
So I'm starting with Anchor. I hope they bring the brand back, but it's the Sand Poncho Mexican Lager. Let me put that up here.
Hey, very nice. I didn't know Anchor ever made a Mexican lager.
Neither did I till I found that.
Neither did they till right before they,
Yeah.
closed.
My mom had a friend named Poncho. This reminded me a lot of Cheech.
The first place I lived out here in Terlingua was called Poncho's Inn.
Nice.
Nice.
So, cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
So. Oh, that is good.
All right.
There's, light lime, a little bit of corn. I like it.
That should be.
Mm-hmm.
I told he was lightly lined.
And just finishing up, Jim Pickett said, "You are part of the majority of the population who has 10 fingers." There we go.
And proud to be so.
And proud to be so. There you go. Right.
Thank dog.
Absolutely. All right. Cool. All right, Tony. Let's kick it off with. You know what? We got to talk about your adventure.
It'd be neat to have 11 fingers in one hand. You had 2 middle fingers. That would be.
Oh, man.
That'd be such a punctuation mark.
And one, yeah, you'd be right. You'd have 2 middle fingers on one hand.
This place that I am broadcasting from today is like a temple of middle fingers. He has like a whole China. He's a China cabinet full of different middle fingers of all different kinds.
Well, very
Wow,
cool.
that's awesome.
One is a decanter.
Middle finger decanter.
There
you go.
I like that.
I do like that. That's very good. That's great. So where are you? Are you in Terlingua right now? Are you?
I am in Terlingua right now. I started house sitting over here for my buddy Mike while he was out of town, and then when he got back, he's been doing a lot of construction over here. He got back and I said, "Man, I need to work a deal with you and stick around for a little while and help you figure a few things out." So I've been staying over here for a couple of weeks, and I bought a piece of property. And I think we talked about that last time. I've got about 12 acres over a couple of miles from the national park boundary. But I don't have any infrastructure yet, so this has been a nice way to spend a couple of weeks of the winter.
There you go.
That works.
Even though it hasn't been cold, I mean, the weather's been really nice. I have not. We had 2 days that were like in the 20 degrees, and I actually stayed at one of the rentals here in town that somebody had available, and it had a heated swimming pool. So on a morning I woke up, it was 15 degrees. I walked straight out of the bed and jumped in this 80-degree swimming pool and went for a dip. But other than that, I have not used a heater this entire season since I haven't used a heater since last year.
Wow.
You would think that you wouldn't need a heated pool in Texas, but you obviously do.
Well, there's really only like a couple of months out here that you would even get in the swimming pool, because even when it's warm, the breeze will get you, man. It's super, super cold. So there's like a small window of time that's good swimming pool season, and then like a really smaller window of time where it's good heated swimming pool. Other than that, most people keep them dry. Other than that,
So is Mike like nearby within like earshot?
Yeah.
Can you call him?
Yeah. Hey, Mike.
No. I meant on the phone.
Oh, on the phone?
On the phone.
Sure. Oh, you want to hear the ringtone? Hey,
Yeah,
where's
you
the
wanna
phone?
hear the-
They want to hear the ringtone.
Yeah, just give him a quick call. You listen to this.
Let's people can hear this.
There you go.
Best ringtone in the world.
That's all.
I love that.
Imagine,
That is a ringtone.
imagine that going off in church.
I said before we started the show, and it was ringing before, I said, imagine that, waking up to that, somebody calling you at 4 a.m.
No, it happens a lot.
I said I would just almost every night I'd sit home just drinking, like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just calling them. Like,
I had a ringtone that was the Exorcist theme, and I was in a store in Boston. John, you probably remember this store. They sold all like the Celtic and Christian iconography.
oh yeah.
and it was open from dusk till dawn because there was no electricity in the building.
Right.
It was very solemn, and no one when you walked in there, no one spoke.
Yeah.
And I went in there, and my brother called me, and my ringtone went off, and it was the Exorcist ringtone.
That's great.
And I'm trying to quiet it as I walk out of the place, and this one guy looks at me, and goes, "Dude."
So his when he gets a text message, it's a goat.
I like that.
And it goes off all day long, man. Like I text him sometimes just to hear it. So good stuff.
That's cool.
That's great.
But
So,
this place is a really cool compound. It's made out of it's all like a metal roof, and then most of it's open air. It's built around a couple of shipping containers, and then he's got just we're building a lot of stuff over here. So, but a really cool venue that will someday be a little restaurant and bar just outside of the ghost town here in Terlingua.
Very cool.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. I like it. So, is there a TV on back there?
No, there's a couple of yahoos eating dinner.
Okay.
Do I need to move? Okay.
No, it's fine. I was going to ask you what show is on. That's what I was going to ask you.
Hey, it's Terlingua TV.
I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if you noticed, Tony.
Oh,
It's like he muted me, then he muted you. He wanted to figure out where
it was coming from.
Look, why is he muting? Oh, no, I know.
Hey.
Almost no one out here has a TV. Almost none of them.
I was going to say you've said that before, so yeah.
Yeah, and if you do have a TV, it wouldn't matter because you can't get any. You can't get any reception for anything.
So it'd be a good paperweight.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there's no cable or
you could put. No, I mean you could get. No, there is. I think you can get direct to like satellite TV.
Satellite. Yeah.
I'm actually on. I'm on Starlink internet right now.
Okay. Yes.
But we do have, on the property I bought, it's on a road that if it rains a tenth of an inch, I can't even drive down it.
Really?
It's not an all-weather road. It's bentonite clay, so if you're driving down the road, this stuff like sticks to itself. So you peel up the first stripe, and then the next one just like compounds, and it compounds and compounds to you just like literally stuck in your tracks. The cool thing is though, if you wait until the next day and everything dries out, then you just drive away and it falls off. It's crazy.
It falls right off. You just
Breaks
drive
right off.
Anyway, down this road, I can't get there's no utilities. There's no electricity. There's no water. There's no sewer, nothing like that. But I can get fiber internet. There's like
That's awesome.
It's faster than anybody I know in Austin or Houston or anywhere else in Texas.
That's great. That's great. Gotta love that.
That is cool.
Then, do you speaking of driving? All right, the story you wrote a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my God,
that was awesome. I don't know, Dave, if you saw it, but
no, I missed it.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to find where in the world is Tony. Oh, he's right there.
The new sticker.
I need a sticker.
Once I order the next ones, I'll send you guys a couple.
Definitely have to. Yeah. Give an overview on that story because that was awesome.
I wrote it down in such detail because I was literally stuck in one place and I had nothing, nowhere to be and nowhere I couldn't go anywhere. I was on foot, and this is a hard place to be on foot. I mean, everything's a long way away. So, but essentially, back in May of last year, I bought my battery went out, and I went to the local hardware store. So I keep my money here in town. And I didn't want to drive 80 miles is the next town, the main town, Alpine, 80 miles away. So it's about an hour and 15 minutes to get there. Saved myself the trouble. And I buy this interstate battery from the hardware store, and it was like $250. It was pretty expensive. But I get less than a year later, and it dies on me, and I'm like, damn. So I take it back to the store, and we run the tester on it. He says, sure enough, it needs to be replaced. But here's the thing: this guy has not. Nobody's delivered batteries down here in 4 months, I think, and so there are no replacements. And so I started calling around it turns out I call about 20 different places, and in the whole region, and they haven't delivered to anybody. So nobody has any replacements. And so now I'm like, I could just buy another battery, but principle of the matter, man, I spent too much money on this battery in the first place. I wanted the battery they owed me, and so. You know me, I got to tweeting about it, and that led to a guy who's the manager of the store in Midland, which is 4.5 hours away, And so they're like, yeah, we got one. Just you can come pick it up. And I'm like, dude, I'm not driving an 9-hour round trip to get a battery that you owe me. And he's like, well, yeah, you make a good point. That does sound fair. So he agreed to drive from Midland to Alpine, which is about a 5-hour round trip for him. And this guy met me in the parking lot of a grocery store in Alpine and brought me a replacement battery. It was really cool of him. I mean, he did not have to do that.
No, that was awesome.
But out here in far out West Texas, I mean, that's just kind of people get it out here and they're willing to look out for each other. So it was a really cool deal. So then I get the battery. And just in time, I got called for jury duty in U.S. District Court. And out here in the Western District of Texas, this is the largest in the entire United States court system. This is the largest district. It's bigger than several states in the Northeast.
Wow.
Like that, the district is.
Probably bigger than us.
Yeah. So I have to drive 3 hours away to Pecos, Texas, to go show up and see if I'm going to get picked for jury duty. So I get my truck picked just in time. I drive up there, do the thing. And then they don't pick me, of course. I'm too open-minded, I suppose. And I drive all the way back, and I'm like, this is a long day. I had to wake up at like 5 in the morning to get there on time. And then I'm driving back, and about 20 miles north of Alpine, one of the struts broke on the front end of my truck. The mount broke, snapped off. And I'm like, God, man, you just can't catch a break out here. And so at least I'm north of Alpine, and I'm, I'm not. If I get south of Alpine, I'm in a dead zone where my phone won't work. And so anyway, I limp it into town and take it to the mechanic, and he's like, "Yeah, we can get it fixed over on Monday, but it's Friday, so I have to hitch a ride back to Terlingua," which turned out to be a great. We did a bar hop when we got back, and I don't remember all the things that happened.
That's a good
that sounded
anyway,
like the bar hop sounded like it was like the best part of the entire
right. No, for sure. And I needed that after all this. So I get all 4 struts replaced and I go pick the truck up and I'm back on the road again, a couple of grand later. And who knows? It's making some weird noise now. Man, these roads out here are something fierce. This truck, I drive a Nissan Titan and it's kind of, they're kind of made to hop curbs in a Target parking lot. It's not really made to drive off-road. He's like, yeah, well, it's got 200,000 miles on it. It's not really surprising that the factory struts finally gave out on you. Terlingua guy. So anyway, I'm back rolling for now at least.
The one part of the story you wrote that when your buddy was going to fly you up to Alpine.
Oh, he did. Yeah. So that was one thing. My best friend's a pilot, and he'd been working on his plane for the last several weeks, trying to figure out this electrical issue. He thought he had it done. He's like, all right, I'm going to fly you up there. And he's like, see if you can get a ride from the airport in Alpine. It's not a very big one. It's way bigger than the one here in Terlingua. The one here in Terlingua is a dirt strip. But I was like, nah, man, we're going to make the story go. So when we get to the airport, I'm going to start walking. And if somebody picks me up, I'll hitch a ride. It'll be a great part of the story. Right. And then, so we get up in the airplane and we're about halfway there. And everything's going fine. Then all of a sudden, one of the fuses goes out, and it wasn't a life-threatening situation, but he just looked at me and he's like, God dang it, man. So we had to turn around, fly back to Terlingua, and I'm grounded. And then I had to hitch a ride again the next day, But luckily, Alpine's the next big city, so a lot of people, it's a pretty common thing to drive 80 miles to go get groceries.
It's a damn good thing that one of your 10 fingers, 2 of your 10 fingers, are thumbs.
Yeah. Yes, hitchhiking.
Yeah.
Hey, but we're pretty close to the Rio Grande here, and this is not on the whole southern border. This is the least trafficked. It's really hard country to get through, so it's not a place where people are always crossing like they do in other spots. But nonetheless, if you're walking down the road, it's unlikely that anybody's going to pick you up. Right. They're also scared from watching the internet.
Yeah, too many hitchhiker movies.
So, anyway, life and times of a truck in Terlingua.
I can imagine. I got another comment here. All right. Yeah. No. I think we'll. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, there seems to be a theme with Jim here on Twitch tonight, so I'm not sure where he's going with this, but it's too interesting to not put up. So
yeah, this one's a weird one.
Pork flavored coffee is Starbucks' newest China pitch.
Okay, so this is right off of WRAL.com. It's the headline. Who doesn't like braised pork with their coffee? I like braised pork with anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the mezcal they make with where they make certain variants of it where they put different parts of animals with as part of the process.
Not just the
You know
worm.
about that? No, not just the worm. They they hang meat in there and while they're fermenting and I don't know. It's a really
Cooked meat, smoked meat, raw meat.
smoked meat, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, that would make sense for mezcal.
Mezcal, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Not all mezcal is smoky.
No,
That is a
Right, but it would make sense to use it
Yeah,
for mezcal
sure.
in general, though. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most people think of mezcal, and sometimes I'm guilty of this. They think of mezcal as the scotch and tequila
Right.
because that's
and in a way, for sure.
Here we go.
Trying to open my second beer.
More on mezcal later.
Did you call me a moron?
I called you a moron. Yes.
Oh.
Moron.
That's fair.
Mezcal. Moron. Mezcal later. There you go.
Okay.
All right. What's
So
your
the,
second beer there?
The sun is getting low over here, so I might start brightening up here in a minute.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
we'll see us.
You got to put my witness protection thing back on.
Winter protection thing.
We need to do the blackout silhouette for
There you
it.
go. Just everybody go like this to your screen.
If you haven't already.
Don't look at my titties.
There you go. Which shirt?
Well, it'll also be that I'll probably end up putting my shirt back on because once the sun goes down, it does
Get a little cooler, yeah.
I got another Revolution, Hazy Hero.
There you go.
Ooh,
This one, unlike the other one that was like dank and pine, the classic Simcoe throw.
Right.
This one's tropical and bright.
Tropical and bright. Well, the other one was an American IPA. This one is a New England IPA.
In New England, yes, as you can see, it is hazy. All
All right, I'm gonna drink an IPA this time too.
All right.
Desert Fog.
Desert Fog.
Is it hazy? Because fog would indicate that it's hazy.
Yes, this is the Marble Brewery from Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. Hey, don't take a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Exactly.
Disco Lights.
I like
That was an interesting Weird Al Yankovic song.
Oh, I thought that was Bugs. That comes from Bugs.
I was
Bunny.
going Bugs Bunny on that. But
Yeah.
I know you were. I'm just saying, yeah. So that's Hazy
that's-
Hero. There's the Desert Fog. Here we go.
That's how they wound up at Alibaba's cave. They
Exactly.
took the wrong turn at Albuquerque.
I like that it says Desert Fog is a New England IPA from Albuquerque.
A Desert Fog is a New England IPA from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Well,
I
the
think,
desert and Albuquerque kind of coincide.
and I think what they need to do is put some lactose in it, make it a milkshake IPA, and then they call it
Oh,
dessert fog.
Hold on.
I wouldn't drink that. I don't know. I don't like these
When I looked it up before, when I put Tony told me it was
There is a dessert fog.
I pulled up. Hold on, I gotta read it. I think there's two versions of Desert Fog.
Okay.
It's hold on, I'm gonna just pull it up here. There's Desert Fog from it's from Marble. Yeah, there's Desert Fog and Dessert Fog.
Oh, there is
a
dessert.
fog.
Yeah, Desert
Yep.
Fog is
Who makes
Tony
Dessert
Reagan
Fog?
for Marble.
Oh, what?
Oh,
They make
so
a
they
milk-
did. Is it a milkshake IPA?
It's a milkshake IPA. Yeah.
Holy man, you're a genius, Dave.
I swear I did not look that up. That was supposed to be a joke. It was supposed to be a joke.
Truth be told, folks, that just popped up now. Dave said it, and they brewed it that quick. It's the time difference. It's the time difference.
The time difference,
Time
yeah.
difference, right? Exactly.
Because they're 2 hours.
They're 2 hours ahead, right?
They're 2 hours.
They had an extra
behind us.
behind. Yes.
Yeah, they're 2 hours
Yeah,
behind us. They had 2 hours to get that done. That's nice.
Oh, yeah, that was perfect. But yeah, there is a dessert fog.
Out here, way out. So we're not just in the middle of nowhere. We're like at the edge of everything. Like we're at the end of the supply chain. So when they deliver things down here, they're not on their way to somewhere else. They're literally like driving, probably 100 miles, and they're turning around and going right back. So limited supplies of anything that we get out here.
Right.
And so all beers are rare in the desert. And it's we're lucky to get Marble beer out here. I kind of helped make some connections with they finally hired a Texas rep, and he's a friend of mine from El Paso. So I introduced him to everybody in town. He's like, man, this is the easiest town I've ever sold beer in. They're just like, okay,
We'll take everything.
I'm excusing that.
What's in the truck?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you got?
So
Um,
Desert Fog is definitely one of the best beers we can get out of here. Like Sierra Nevada's had a pretty big presence out here for a long time. Obviously, they got a big presence almost everywhere.
sure.
Uh,
Sure.
I actually talked to the guy, the Texas rep for Sierra has been out. He's been the Texas rep for like 17 years, I think. And I kept telling him, like, dude, you should come out to Terlingua sometime. Come hang out. Like they sell a lot of your beer down here. He's like, yeah, it's okay. I'm like, no, tell your boss, man. Like, make him pay you to come down here. And I don't think he got it. And then he finally got around to looking at the numbers, and he realized how much of Sierra Nevada they actually sell out here. He's like, okay, I'm gonna come make some calls. These folks.
My second beer, I just opened it up. It's again Tony related. It's a brewery in Texas, 903 Brewers.
Woo! All right,
out of Houston, right?
up in Sherman.
Sherman, yeah.
Oh, Sherman. Oh, what's the one out of Houston? It's another. I get confused with all the area code breweries.
Well, you just got to know your area codes. 713 is a Houston one.
St. Arnold is in Houston.
Yeah, I've got a St. Arnold coming up next.
But it's the caramel donut cream ale.
Oh, very nice.
Oh boy.
So I said, speaking of dessert, caramel donut
Is it
cream
good?
ale. Larry. It's yeah, you know what? I gotta be honest with you. It's sweet, but it's not super sweet. It's caramel, and it's a cream ale, and
Yeah, it's a cream ale. It's not like a stout or something.
Yeah,
not at all. No, it's
not a
actually
milk stout.
and Dave, I actually found my revival glass.
Oh, very nice.
There you go. So, but yeah, it's definitely caramel. It says pairs with eggs Benedict, French toast, and sunrise on a mountain. That's what it says.
That sounds bougie.
I like that.
Sounds what?
That sounds kind of bougie.
It sounds a little bougie. Yeah. Well, are they bougie in Sherman?
Oh hell no, man! Have you ever even heard of Sherman, Texas?
I've heard of it before, but not enough to know whether they're bougie or not.
They're not. Well, no. Now that I think about it, there might be a bougie contingent in Sherman, Texas, but don't quote me on that because
I won't.
I live a lot closer to Sherman than you guys do.
No, that's just true.
One place I worked.
The furthest place away in Texas from you live closer to than we
Yeah,
do.
this
Right.
is true.
Hey, well, you know that if you're in El Paso, Texas,
Mhm.
you're closer to LA than you are to Dallas.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
Funny, this one place that I worked, there was this one kid who was talking to some of the other employees. And he said, he goes, I don't go there. It's too bougie. And I turned around. I said, too bougie for you? I said, you look up bougie in the dictionary and we see you. He goes, I'm not bougie. I'm like, what did you do this weekend? He goes, a bunch of my friends and we went to the golf course and they were serving brunch on the golf course and we did 18 holes. Look, I
Totally bougie.
you can't get more. He goes like, oh, yeah, it does sound very bougie, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
his fiance's name was Champagne something. And I said, you're engaged to a porn star?
And his name was Blaine.
No, it was not.
Anyway, it's actually pretty good. It's like I wouldn't drink more than half. Now this is a 12-ounce can. I can drink a 12-ounce can. I probably wouldn't be able to get through a 16-ounce can, but it's very. Let's put it this way: if this makes sense to anybody, it's very Southern Tier-esque. It's it's sweet but
the
well done.
creme brulee.
Yeah.
How'd you get a hold of that thing?
Tavor.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that's a thing.
On
don't
the
deliver it
other
here.
hand, this is going down real easy.
That connects. Never mind.
Back to our opening.
Bless you. I do. I'll just tell you right now. I won't put it what it is, but I do have a Martin House beer for my third beer.
Awesome.
So that's my
Love
third
those
beer.
boys.
I actually have two Martin House beers. One of them I'm not drinking tonight, and that's the sour pickle Goza.
Oh
That's
man,
I love
That's
that beer.
right. That is their number one. I mean, like that beer changed Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah, no, I will love that beer, and I will have that beer and enjoy that beer thoroughly while I'm eating like a corned beef sandwich, right? Not going to have it on the show while I'm drinking these other drinks.
Or like a really hot day. Yeah, I would definitely not put it in this lineup of all the others.
Right, exactly.
Weird.
So,
Both my beers are empty.
both your beers are empty.
Hey, you know what? Another fun fact.
What's that?
Martin House, that beer, that pickle beer they make is I can't even think of the name of it right now. It's been a while. Anyway, they partnered up with Best Made Pickles, which is like a local company that's been around for over
I think
100
that's the name of it. I think it's Best Made.
Yes, that was
yeah.
one I had.
Best made sour pickle ale. Yeah, sour
So,
pickle goes.
but it is not the original pickle beer from Fort Worth. There's a brewery called Hop Fusion, one of my favorites as well. Hey, try to sneak in, Mel? Hey, come say hi. Hey, this is my friend Mel.
I was trying to sneak around here. I was going to go grab a beer.
Hi, Mel.
Hi, Mel.
Mel brought some awesome lagers, and she's been around the beer business in Austin and Texas for how long?
I'm actually drinking an IPA.
She's drinking an IPA right now, but
There we
you
go.
know.
A sizable bottle.
There you go.
You didn't know I was bringing special guests, did you?
I love it. That's always
Now we
awesome.
got Mike, we got Mel. There's another guy here named Micah. There's a musician here named
Does it begin with an M?
Alex Teller. No,
Oh, no. Mike, Mel, Micah, and Alex.
you want to hear this?
And Tony.
So anyway, the Hot Fusion guys make a beer called Gran Patanillo, and it's a pickle and a little bit of pepper beer. It's a lager, and I prefer it, and it's a really amazing beer. So if you can find that,
Ooh,
Gran
there's something to find.
Dude, it's amazing.
Text me that later because I'm definitely going to look for that.
Yeah.
That's right up my alley. I'll definitely look for that.
It's a really different experience than the Martin House one, but those guys knocked it out of the park. And from a branding perspective, partnering up with Best Made, which is like a legacy North Texas, pickle company, they just they hit it out of the park. So
Nice, awesome. Speaking of food,
okay,
not too long ago you did a chili cook-off.
Was it the great Terlingua chili cook-off?
The chili cook-off. It's the Terlingua chili cook-off.
Is the
Yeah, it's not a. It's the cook-off.
A. I used the wrong preposition, pronoun,
Back
whatever.
to the finger. There are two chili cook-offs that happen in the same weekend at the same time, and that one is the original, and they had a schism years back because there were a group of them that wanted to take the chili competition international, and the OG guys were like, "Nah, we just want to keep it Terlingua. We keep it OG." So they created a new thing called the Chili Appreciation Society Inc. They call it CASI, and that is the international chili competition. So in this town in the middle of nowhere, the first weekend in November, there are two chili cook-offs that happen with about 10 miles of each other.
That is awesome.
One in a town and the other, and they're both really cool. And the original one has one of the best lineups of music of anything that happens out here, and then the other one is like where you go see the titties. I mean, it's like people like write reviews about it, like, don't bring your kids after this one. So.
No, but shouldn't they, see, now to me, they should do them a couple weeks apart. So one, you can go listen to music and eat great chili, and the other one, you can eat great chili and see the titties.
Party, and I mean, it's not as wild as it once was. You know, I mean, it's been going on for
what a shame.
60. I think it started in 67.
Oh wow,
1960. Yeah, and it's and to clarify, they do. They're like, you hear this whole argument about beans or no beans. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mel. This one's ice cold.
Thanks, Mel.
Thanks, Mel.
They say thanks. Beans or no beans. This chili competition that we have out here is based around a style of chili called Texas Red. Are you familiar with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's no beans.
Texas Red.
And there's no
Texas
tomatoes.
Red
in it.
doesn't have beans. Chili
Right.
can have beans. Texas Red is technically not supposed to have beans in it. So I don't give a shit. I like beans and chili.
Right? Doesn't Texas?
You
Yeah,
can't
right.
say that around here because
Well,
they'll run you out of town if you talk about beans and chili.
Jim Pickett just said thanks, Mel.
Hey, thanks, Mel. Hey, Jim Pickett said thanks, Mel.
It's just like,
It's like,
I know that guy.
All right. Oh, Jester King. You guys know Jester King's doing like a whole bunch of. Mel works with Jester King too,
Oh, she does.
Oh, does she? Very cool.
and but they got a whole like new thing where they're doing a whole clean side of things, like not the farmhouse beers, but
Really? Oh, you know what? I did know that. Yeah. I
And
did know that.
they make a really great lager. But this is what did we say here? Ooh, Oaxacan corn lager, Oaxacan green corn lager. Boy, this sounds like it's got weed in it.
Yeah.
I love Oaxaca, so I'm pretty excited about this one. I
Okay,
haven't had
that's
it.
awesome. Did ask Mel if she knows Debbie Serta.
Oh yeah, no, we all know Debbie.
Everyone in Texas knows Debbie.
Everybody knows Debbie. Yeah.
So I'm actually next April, there's a really good shot I'll be in Austin.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
this April coming up or next?
No,
April,
no,
like
next
April
April.
2025?
No, this April I'm going to be in Germany.
Mhm.
Okay, so April 2025.
Yep.
Man, I don't even know if we're all going to be alive.
I will not be able to join you in any way, shape, or form, Dave.
I don't make plans for a year and a half from now.
Yeah,
I know.
I won't be able to join you in Austin in April of 2025 because my daughter's getting married in April 2025. So
We'll
it's
just
going to be
have it in Austin.
yeah.
Hey, we got to figure out a way where we get you guys both out here and we do the podcast live from
Live from there.
Well,
absolutely.
that's what I was going to bring up. It's like if I do Austin in 2025 in April, maybe make a run out to Tolingua.
Well, can we talk about logistics?
Mhm.
I know it's a
Yeah.
long drive, but I can hit
I'm not
Austin
even-
first and then fill
I'm
the
not
car
even
up with
opposed
beer.
to like coming to get you, and then you can actually take a train. That's another option. The train from Austin comes. You go down to San Antonio, and then it comes west to Alpine, which is just north of Beer.
No, Tony. What I'd do is I'd rent a car. I'd fill that car with beer and bring it
And
out to
drive
Tolingua.
7 hours to come see me.
From Austin.
I mean, I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying. I mean, it's more than. you
Well,
think.
look at it this way:
We'll
if we can pick a
Think about
time that we can both go, then we can take turns driving the 7 hours.
There's that too.
And when you get here, man, you have no idea what we'll get you into. You'll never forget, but you may never remember.
What you remember, you'll never forget. There you go.
Yes. So, John, I did open my third beer.
What? Yeah. Let's.
Oh,
let's
it's not
put
a
that
beer.
crawl-
It's
put
not
that
a beer.
crawl
Don't
up.
put the
There
crawl
you
up yet. Don't put the crawl up yet.
I won't put the crawl up yet.
So I was going through the liquor store, and Tony, I saw this, and I just had to buy this.
What? Ah, yes, I've had that. That's good stuff right there.
And it surprised me because it's not that. It's a Blanco.
Yeah.
And they make a tequila, they make a mezcal, and they make a sotol under that same brand.
Well, couldn't find this at all because I was looking for it,
Man, that's really cool that you could find even that way up there.
and I found this mezcal. This would be one of the smoked ones.
Yes.
This has got a lot of smoke to it.
I love the fact that it's a Blanco and it's smoked.
Mhm.
Not that there aren't them, but I love that fact that it can be a Blanco and smoked.
Wow, that's a lot smoother than I thought that was going to be.
There you go.
Because I've opened the bottle, but I didn't touch it yet. This is my first sip. If I want to have my first sip with you on the show.
By the
Awesome.
way, I love the fact this is the first crawl that we've had 46% as the ABV.
This is the first crawl we've had that's not beer.
That's true too. No, we've had meads.
No,
Oh, it's
I've
not
been
beer.
I've drank
Ciders.
sotol on this thing almost every time we've done it.
But he didn't make a crawl for it.
I didn't make a crawl for it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Initially,
Oh.
I drink.
I'm liking this. I may have poured myself a little too much, so I'll have to pour myself some more.
I wish I was there with you. I'd be drinking it with you.
Exactly.
This bottle will be gone in no time, and fuck work tomorrow.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
man,
what? So what? So to get back to the chili for a second, what were some of your memories, as far as like the top chilies that you had that you?
Well, here's the thing. I've actually I got to. It's really hard to get to the table, the judging table. Like if you go to the chili competition, you don't eat chili unless you're a judge.
Right.
They used to let you think you go to the chili fest or competition, you're like you're eating chili all day, but they keep it very highly guarded. So I've heard that several years back that they actually like people could just come around and taste everybody's chili. Well, that somebody went around and got a bunch of chili samples and put them together and entered them and won the
Oh
competition.
God! Combined
Smooth
them all.
move, man, really.
That's great.
But it changed the dynamic of everything.
You know what though?
So-
You know what though? For him doing it the first time and doing it like that,
He deserves an award.
kudos.
What a winner! I mean, in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. So anyway, I got to you cannot like the finals. When you get to the finals, that table is like the who's who. Like it's the only time in my life I've ever seen a sheriff in uniform drinking beer. Like because that's the palate cleanser. The Lone Star is one of the sponsors. So I got photos of the
That's
sheriff of our county drinking beer in his uniform. It's great.
That's great.
But anyway, it's like the sheriff, the postmaster, like all the who's who, and there's no way I'll ever get on that table. But if you hang around, they get down to it, and then they need they call in for extra judges. So I got to go in the second to last round of chili. I got to judge with some pretty long-term Chileans. But when you judge chili, they probably 26 different ones you're gonna eat, right? So they bring it to you in a big styrofoam cup, and you just got a box full of spoons. You can eat as much as you want of each one. I mean, you could end up eating like 3 bowls of chili in one sitting. But once you eat the first one, it's so damn spicy, you can't really discern. It's not like judging beer where you can really truly cleanse your palate. Like, I mean, shit's hot, man, and they're all. And when you get to the final round, they're all like it's either really good or it's
beer's
terrible.
A really bad palate cleanser for.
Oh no, for sure. And they got like cheese cubes. I mean, it's all this terrible.
Cheese cubes is better because dairy.
It's better. Well, it's better than beer, but it's not. And the crackers would probably be the best thing out there.
I do crackers when I've done a couple. I've done crackers and cheese cubes. Those are what I do.
Actually, the best thing to knock heat out is sour cream. Sour cream will knock the heat out immediately.
And but Lone Star beer is just like not good for a lot of things, I mean, it is good for some things, It's not the worst.
I thought you were going to say it's not fit for human consumption, but we know that if you go to Texas barbecue, you've got to have a Lone Star with it.
Oh no, you do not. That's what a guy from Jersey would say.
No. I heard someone else say that. Here's a question: It's vaguely chili related because we know with chili what the answer would be here. And this is a argument going on in the Georgia government right now
about chili.
No, but it's chili related. We know what the answer is.
They got a lot going over there in Georgia. They've
got so much going on over there.
There's a lot of shit going on in Georgia. Right
but this one's very divisive. Now with chili, I know what the answer would be, but with anything else or just by itself, cornbread or biscuits.
Oh, I'd do either, but cornbread seems more appropriate.
Yeah, with chili, would definitely. Yeah. But take the chili out of the equation.
Oh, okay, man. I don't know. I mean, it depends on what else you're doing, though.
If I'm eating breakfast, biscuits, sausage gravy. If I'm eating lunch or dinner,
by the way,
cornbread. Well, no, if I'm eating lunch, cornbread, dinner could be either.
My family cooks biscuits for almost every home style meal Mama cooks, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, tomorrow, John, thanks for bringing that up. Tomorrow is National Biscuits and Gravy Day.
Well, I'm going to have to go to Buttered Biscuit tomorrow then. In fact, are they even open tomorrow?
Wednesday, this should be.
There's a point, man. You guys have a restaurant called Buttered Biscuits?
He does. I don't.
Jeez. Well, he comes down and goes to it though. So
I do. Yeah. I do. I get the corned beef hash all the time.
Oh, that sounds good.
Oh, it's so good.
They are not open tomorrow. I cannot go.
Oh, then you cannot go. So you may have to go out and make it.
How are they not open tomorrow?
They're closed Tuesdays and Wednesdays. They're open Monday.
It's National Biscuits and Gravy Day, man. Like I think that
they'd have to be open for that.
There you go. We got another comment here from
Jim Pickett again.
Yeah, Ohio is dangerous,
especially when trains turn over.
This is true. Yes.
Hey, how am I doing, guys? Is it working?
Yeah.
I'm checking with the peanut gallery. They said I'm doing a pretty good job.
Are they actually your audience for this? Are they watching you?
Yes. No, they're eating dinner and watching the sunset on the mountains, man.
We're watching the sunset.
We're watching the sunset on the mountain. You're the only one not watching the sunset on the mountain.
I can't hear a word you're saying. What's that? Oh, you just flipped me off.
Hey,
this is the power. I'm shocked. This is the middle finger, man.
Like, there's power behind it.
Exactly.
We have a theme for the show. We thank Jim Pickett for giving
the middle finger show.
What's the name? What had to do with the bird?
This is a really good beer, man.
Oh, that's the Jester King.
That's the Jester King.
Yeah, the Jester King, man. I'm really digging this. Oaxacan green corn lager.
I'm digging this mezcal. This might be one of my favorite mezcals I've ever had.
You're gonna have to. There's probably gonna be no way I'm gonna be able to find that one, but send me the info on that too because I really want that
this was at
no, not the mezcal. I'm talking to Tony about the corn lager from.
Oh yeah,
Jester
I'll send you a photo of it.
Yeah.
You guys ever heard of Posh? Pox Posh from Chiapas?
No.
Look for this stuff. It's there's only one producer that makes it commercially, and he actually he's won numerous awards for all the work he's done with the native people that make it. He's cleaned up the water supply in this little village, created an agricultural system that provides them more corn than he's using, and so Posh is it is a regional thing from Chiapas, and it's like if tequila was a rum.
Really?
It's not an agave spirit. It's made from mostly from maize, and then it's also got wheat. Siglo Cero is the name of the guy that makes it, or the company that makes it.
So it's a tequila made with corn instead of agave.
It's not a tequila at all. Tequila is
the type of spirit it is, it's made with.
It is a Mexican-made spirit that is much more akin to rum because it's made with maize and sugarcane and sometimes.
Sugarcane. You didn't say that.
Yeah.
Spell it again.
Siglocero. Siglo Cero is the name of it. Man, look this stuff up. It is amazing. They serve it.
POX.
Yeah, Posh.
Siglo Cero.
It's not Pox.
It says Pox on the bottle. Siglo Cero, Chiapas, America.
No.
Pox.
Posh.
That's what I agree.
Pox. Posh.
Posh. POX. I said POX.
Anyway,
we can order
they
for
make
like $35.
coffee
That's
drinks
what I
out of it. They usually serve it with a coffee dusted orange. I don't know. It's got a really unique flavor profile.
So you said it's a corn rum.
It is it's got sugar cane in it as well, but and it's not corn. It's maize. It's like old world corn.
So
Which most of us know is it's one of the colors from the box of 128 from Crayola.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Maize, right. Most of us older assholes, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I always thought it was funny because they do a lot of corn mazes.
What kind of spirit? Maize.
Well done there.
What kind of spirit? What kind of spirit would you consider it though? Would it be a rum? Would it be what?
It is very unique. It's like a rum because it's made with sugarcane, so it's got kind of a sweetness to it.
Right. It's got rum. It's got rum characteristics, but
it's kind of reminiscent of agave spirits. I mean, in a way, even though it's not made with any agave at all. And even Sotol, which is not an agave, when you put those side by side, people that drink Sotol for the first time, often they're like, "Oh, this is like a really smooth tequila," and I'm like, "Well, I mean, it's made the same way. It's just a completely different plant."
See, now we're talking about weird alcohols. Tomorrow's also National Malort Day.
Oh, fuck that, man! I'm out.
So Malort. People who don't know what Malort is,
people that don't know what Malort is, great.
Too many herbs.
But here's the thing about Malort: if you, it's basically if someone from the Midwest of the Midwest of the United States decided to make something along the lines of Jägermeister, got it entirely wrong. And marketed it anyway.
Justice, man. I think it's pretty awful, but
it is. But
Malort's actually, I think it's intentionally made intentionally to be very terrible.
Oh yeah,
like
it'll put hair on your teeth.
I already have hair on my teeth, man.
That's because your mustache grew too long and keeps getting in your mouth.
That's true. There you go. Hey, you guys check it out. Look at this sky behind me, man.
That's beautiful.
That is a beautiful, beautiful sky. And we're starting to see you even better, so it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I'm slowly coming into this podcast.
Into frame.
And did you never take and you put your shirt back on?
Yeah, it's getting a little chilly. The sun went down.
And it's funny, I didn't even see him put a shirt back on.
Neither did I.
I gotcha.
He's
flashing. There you go.
I did it 3 times and Dave didn't even look. Man, damn.
I saw it.
I did it again.
I saw it all 4 times. So there you go.
So we
Miles!
You had your chance, Dave.
That is 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks in a row.
I'll describe them to you later.
2 weeks in a row we've had flashing on the show.
This is true, right? Exactly.
Last week.
All right. Which will I open my third beer?
I've got a second pour of the
Yeah.
Oof, I'm gonna
all right. I just want to, folks. I want to point out one fact to you. When he poured it before, he said, "I might have poured too much." That was about 15. That was about 10 minutes ago, and he just poured a second pour.
And remember what I said after that? I said
It
I may
looked-
have poured too much. Maybe I need to pour some more.
Pour some more, right? Exactly. So I
And
got
it's a little, it's almost as big as the last pour. So
exactly.
No. That's about half.
hey, I'm
So-
also drinking this too. The
And
Teana
that
is-
tonic.
So explain
I've been
to
sipping
the
this
audience
since it started.
what that is, and hopefully no one from the Texas law community is watching.
Well, no, this guy produces it and sells it legally in Texas. So hey,
But it's not legal in Texas.
Well, here's the thing: they didn't legalize cannabis yet, but they did do a thing, like a sort of step in the direction. And the step that they made in that direction created this unintentional loophole. They fucked up basically, and they legalized several ways that you can do some things without actually doing the whole thing. But there's a lot of products available legally in Texas now that are like basically the same thing. So it's like kind of the greatest time to be alive here if you're into that kind of thing.
That's nice.
Okay.
So explain the drink to us.
It is like a tonic water, just a sparkling water. It's got natural lime, a little bit of lime to it, like actual lime juice, and then it says it's sugar free. It's water, and then it's like gluten free, meat.
We can see you now.
There you go.
Oh, hey. Well, all right. I'm gonna go with that.
There
Hi,
you go.
Tony.
Oh no. There you go. Now you can still see him. Yeah.
There
he
it
is.
is.
All right.
We can
So
read your
it
hat now.
says, I don't know what this means, but it says 3-to-1 CBD to THC, and it's not
3 parts
like-
CBD, 1 part
You know, like-
THC.
No,
It-
that
it's
doesn't mean
complicated so
either.
much. There is
CBD, easy as THC.
there's THC, but then there's THCA and THCB, and I don't know what any of this shit means. I just know that if any of these other things were the thing, we would be doing those things all this time.
There you
And
go.
so all these other things they've made legal. It basically what it comes down to is it takes about $1,000 lab test to break down and find the difference between them. So you can buy some weed at the gas station here, a lot of them, just weird looking jars full of stuff in like some bodega, and you buy it and then you dump it out. You try it, if you want to experiment, but you can dump it out and then you can just put whatever else that you might have in that jar. Like if you get pulled over, you're just like, well, I bought it at a gas station, man. Like.
Which we got.
I thought it was oregano.
Bert Sandy on Twitch just said, "Ain't that the truth?" That's what he said. So,
What the truth? What was the truth?
he said it about a minute ago, so I'm not sure. One of the things Tony said. So.
I guess
Check,
so.
check this out.
There
There they are.
Hey, say hi, everybody. Y'all are on a
Hi.
podcast, man. Woo!
What?
There you go.
Yeah, okay, he's awake.
Oh,
Okay.
so we got one wave. There we go.
And no, Mike's flipping you off.
Oh,
Even better.
This is the temple of the middle finger. I'm telling you,
Couple of the middle finger.
the temple of the
there's
bird.
got to be a cooler way to say that in some language.
The temple
I,
of the bird.
Tip of the bird. I opened my.
He just started doing this thing where like everybody that drives around instead of waving at each other now, we're just like flipping each other off.
Flipping each other up. There you go.
Nice.
It's all fun and games. Everybody knows
It's a term
everybody.
of endearment. That's all. It's a term of
You
endearment.
can't get away with the shit out here because everybody knows everybody. And so like you have to like make sure. It's like I thought it was him coming down the road, and I'm like, hey! It's like some old lady, and she's like, yeah. And we've all gotten in a little trouble here and there.
Gotta
What
love
about
it.
that Templo del Dedo Medio? No, I don't like that one.
No, we don't want to talk about the. You can't do a literal translation. That's not as fun.
That's a literal one, but you know what? I need to go and see what German does for this because they've got some Schlaffe des Mittelfingers. No, that's just too. No, it's not going to work.
That's not gonna work. I opened my third beer. Let me get this up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the
Beer
Martin
is
House.
good.
The Martin House. It's Darkness Falls right here. It's a
Ooh.
9.8% rum barrel aged imperial milk stout with vanilla and coconut.
No offense, man, but
Oh,
that
that
sounds
sounds
gross to me.
I think I like. Here's one in Nepali. It's Bakako Aonlako Mandira.
Bakako Alako Bandira.
Aonlako Mandira.
Alako. This is the temple of the middle finger in what language?
Nepali.
Nepali.
I like that.
Wow.
It's got a good cadence to it.
Wow.
It does. It's got a really nice cadence to it.
Dave, this is fantastic. The coconut
that
in this is
thing, man.
amazing.
No,
You know I love the coconut. So,
Mhm.
Tony, if you go into the
I don't like
private
rum.
chat,
It's not. There's not. There's nice rum notes to it. There's not a lot. It's more just the milk stout with vanilla and coconut in it.
Oh, I'll drink some rum. I just don't like it.
So there's enough of it in there for you to like but not hate. There you go.
Hey,
So-
you know, my favorite beer they ever made was
what's that?
they made one called Azathoth, and it's
now I'm a Lovecraft fan.
It's a 16% golden ale with squid ink and menthol.
So, no, if it's got,
It's the weirdest fucking beer I've ever drank in my life, and I fucking shotgunned it.
but if
I
it's got
shotgun
squid ink, they should have called it
Squid ink.
Cthulhu, not Azathoth.
The squid ink makes it green, and the menthol, like it's so overpowering. I'm like,
greener.
dude, I'm like, how much menthol did you put in this? He's like, we brewed a 30-barrel batch and we put a gallon of menthol in it. It's,
Oh,
my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Oh my God.
shit's powerful.
Yeah, I'd say it's
My mother-
mouthwash. Is basically what he's got.
Yeah.
Basically.
No, for real. I mean, it did not clean my breath or my teeth or anything.
I guess if it had squid ink, it should have been called Cthulhu. They missed that. And you know, all the other Lovecraft fans are with me. So Tony, if you go to the private chat, the Nepali
How do I do
translation,
Where it says private chat,
up top left.
Oh, it's hang on. I'm in like a full screen mode.
full screen. Well, yeah, get
Yeah,
out
you
of
got
that.
it.
Oh, I think my mouse died. That's what it was.
So I'm trying to look at it. It's by Kako.
Why is this the first time we're doing a private chat?
There you go. By Kako on Lako Mandira. By Kako on Lako Mandira.
Mandeko.
On Lako Mandira.
Whoa.
There you go.
All right, I'm saving that.
There you go.
Loco and Loco Mandira, apparently. He's Coco and Loco Mandira. That's what the little when I press the little speaker button says.
Okay, I was gonna say, did you press the speaker button to find out how to actually say it?
That's what I did. It's,
Okay, good. Okay, that's important. You know,
yeah, it's very important.
Totally important. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
read a lot of this stuff all the time, and I'll come up with one, and then I say it, and then somebody looks at me, like
Right.
especially. I don't learn a lot of Spanish from using Google Translate, but every once in a while, it's a helpful tool to me.
It's a total helpful tool. Absolutely.
to
I'll
get
give you that.
one thing, but if I don't listen to how the Google lady says it, and I say it out loud, they always go.
Yeah.
Sometimes
that
the Google person doesn't pronounce things properly.
Right.
Or they do it with a dialect that you're not familiar with, so that's always fun.
Exactly. Got a couple comments in here from Bert Sandy. He said one of them is, "I'm not a person to make excuses." Not sure what that is. Was referring to. Then he said, "I ran a mile before." Did we talk about running?
Were you being chased?
Were you being chased? And then he said, "Rum is better than beer." He said, "There you go."
Well, that's subjective.
No, that is subjective. It's subjective.
It's subjective. Everybody's got their own flavors that they like. But, you know.
If everybody had a mohawk, nobody would be punk rock. Think about it.
It's true.
That's true.
We have Viva Variety, baby.
Words of wisdom, right there. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is fantastic. This is Dave. I got to tell you, this coconut is amazing. It's horrible. I'm sorry, it's horrible. You don't want it.
I don't want that. What did
I figured. By the way, I put it in a treehouse glass because Martin House, treehouse. I figured that would work. You know?
There we go. What did the Cure say? Everyone is so different now. They're finally all the same.
Mhm.
That's from Jumping Somebody Else's Train. That's I love that song.
Pretty much.
Made me think of that old song that the houses, little houses on the hillside. And
Little house on the hillside. Yeah. All right. We got to talk about something else, Tony. Recently, you started doing something for the first time. That's near
true.
and dear to my heart, and also near and dear to Dave's heart. You joined the volunteer fire department.
I did.
Tell us about how you got what piqued your interest, how you got involved, what you did, and what you've been doing.
Well, doing guide work, we're required to keep a certain level of training to fulfill requirements, and also to be, safe out in the backcountry. So the requirement is a Wilderness Advanced First Aid (WAFA), and so through that, I did that training a couple years ago, and kept that license or training up. And then, out here in this community, we're very remote, and everybody, there's a lot of guys out here, and everybody kind of looks out for everybody. But the volunteer fire department was just, they did a recruiting thing, and 9 of the coolest people I know showed up for this thing. And I was one of them. I'm one of the coolest people.
None of those people, one being me. Right.
If you don't,
You're
if you
on
don't
my
love
list too, Tony.
if you don't love yourself, what are you doing?
Exactly. Well,
you know,
of my top 5 coolest people in the world, you're one of them, Tony. So there.
Oh
Yeah.
man, you guys.
Same here. Same here. Same here.
So anyway, they did a recruitment thing, and I've been wanting to sign up, and the last time they recruited some people in, I wasn't living here 100% full time, so I wouldn't have been as available. And the guy that was running it then kind of, he made a deal about that, and I'm like, okay, well, I understand. Well, now we got some new people running the thing, and I live here all the time, and I've got a lot more training and a lot more experience out here, and I jumped at the opportunity, and the supplemental training I've received in the meantime already has been some of the most fun I've had in anything I've ever done, and this is a really unique situation out here because we live in a community that is like water is a very precious resource, and it's and the fire station is 45 minutes away from a lot of the things out here. I mean, by the time you get there, the old joke about a volunteer fire department that they never lost a slab. Out here, like we've never lost a slab, but it's because we literally are doing everything we can to get there. We drove out to one the other day. We had to take the brush truck and drive down this road. I don't even like driving my own truck down, and this truck's got 500. Yeah, it's a big, big dually. It's got 500 gallons of water in the back of it. It's a hard ride, and we get all the way out there, and it was a false alarm. Like somebody was just calling in. So we get out there, and there's no smoke at all. But for the most part, it's a lot of EMS calls, and then just medical calls, and then a lot of the fire calls. It's not usually we don't have a lot of brush fires out here because there's not a lot of stuff to burn. Almost no trees, and then a lot of it is automobile accidents and things like that. So I've gotten to work some cool. I've not had the opportunity to respond to a fire yet, but there have been a couple of structure fires, and mostly solar batteries popping off.
Really?
Yeah.
Or solar batteries and electric vehicles. Because once that battery, once that thing goes, it's a chemical reaction, and you just got to wait till it's done. You just try to contain.
That's the same thing like they used to say back in the day, like the old engine blocks of VWs were magnesium. So if they caught fire, you start flowing water on magnesium. Nothing. No, magnesium burns hotter in water. Yeah. So you basically are like burning it faster. Like, all right, hurry up. Finish.
The only thing you do is call a dump truck, pour sand over the thing, and dig it up 6 months later.
We have a lot of sand.
Yeah. And then to see if it burns itself out.
I think, honestly, one of the first, we did a course on electric vehicle fires because that's, obviously becoming more of a thing. And that made us all really terrified about it, because, once it goes off, and then once it starts, they don't even, they kind of have to quarantine them for almost 45 days, I think. Wow. Because up to 45 days after that thing starts, if one of those other cells. Rekindle. Yeah, they can rekindle, and it's not uncommon in the places where they store them for those things to keep popping off and burning up.
It's interesting how the dangers of MVAs.
Bert Sandy just said, "I can respect that." He said, "So there you
go." Of motor vehicle fire is so different through the decades. Like now, it's the batteries,
right?
At one point, you had the magnesium blocks, but then like in the 70s and the 80s, you had to attack a burning vehicle from the corners because of the
bumpers would shoot off.
Pneumatic bumpers would shoot the hell off and kill you. And yet, because you never attacked from the sides because you'd be hitting each other.
Right.
So
you come out at 45-degree angle from the corners. Front or back, depending on where the fire was. But yeah.
Now, so you responded to a volunteer drive. John, yes. It's in your family, right?
My father was my father's been in the fire department since the early 60s. And he actually just retired last year. And he's
finally retired.
He's approaching his mid-80s.
So he's no longer active.
No longer active. He was active till he was almost 81.
Wow.
How active can an 80-year-old be? It's questionable, but but yeah, I actually it runs in my family. I grew up in a firehouse.
I bet he would be a great guy to have on the pumps.
100%. Yeah. When my father was chief. When my father was actually chief when I actually got on the fire department. I graduated high school, got on the fire department. He was chief that year,
Yeah.
and after he was chief, that was his main job at that point, right? Whenever he did drive the truck, he was the pump operator.
So far, that has been, like that's the thing that's going to require me the most intensive training, just to get, it's a lot going on up there.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, there is.
Oh yeah, no, I
Hey,
mean, just driving and then the pump operator course, yeah.
I'm still well. We're doing the EVOC course this next weekend, emergency vehicle operations course. So
Oh,
that
cool.
that leads me to one of the funny stories I wanted to tell you guys tonight.
Go for it.
A little aside, but the first time, I started up in the summer, so we've done some training. We've done some live fire training. We did extrication training. Things like that, but I have not gotten to drive any of the vehicles yet because we got to do this course first to be, like if it was an emergency, I'm covered to go drive anything. But and I've done a little practice here and there. So on Christmas Eve, there was a really bad wreck in the park, and no fatalities, but it was two vehicles in Big Bend National Park. Two vehicles traveling opposite directions, and one guy fell asleep at the wheel, and when he nodded, woke up, he kind of overcorrected, and the other guy was correcting, and they ended up actually hitting dead on at about 60 miles an hour, way above the speed limit in the park, I might mind you. But anyway, so there was 5 people in each car and a bunch of kids, and they had to fly 4 people out of there, which is a big day out here. I mean, it's hard to get 4 different flights out of here. I mean, it's 1 is something that happens pretty commonly. 2 and 3 and 4, that's a lot. And while all this is going on, there is a cardiac arrest up in a different part of the park. And almost everybody's on scene, responding to this accident. And so it's just kind of a chaotic day, Christmas Eve, all this going on. Well, they asked for somebody like, hey, we need somebody to drive this ambulance to Alpine. And it's a 2-hour drive from this part of the national park that we're in. And I'll do it. And I get it. It's just a big truck, right? But there's a lot more going on, and in the most precious cargo. Whoever's in there is not an emergency at this point, but needs to get to the hospital. So I volunteered, and I'm sitting in the ambulance, and the deputy chief comes up and he goes, you know what you're doing, right? And I'm like, well, I mean, I know how to drive a big truck. I know
how to drive a truck, yeah.
And I drive a lot out here. I'm a professional driver out here as a guide. I mean, I drive Jeeps all over the place, but I realize we've got precious cargo in the bag. So, but I'm like, he's asking me this, and the guy's already in the ambulance. I'm like, he can hear you, man. Like, just maybe pull me out for a second. All right. So anyway, my first time.
I got a story I'll tell you, Matt. Go ahead.
And I get a quick run through of how to flip on the red the lights and turn the siren on if I need it, which I did have to do a couple times. But for the most part, it's just a long drive through a desolate highway, and we don't see anybody. What I didn't think to ask anybody is that we have to go through a border checkpoint at some point before we get to the next town. And I don't know what the protocol is there. And I'm driving the ambulance. And I'm thinking, well, man, they should just like flag me through. I could just, there's nobody in the oncoming lane. So with the lights on, I'm the ambulance, man. Like I should go where I want to go. Turns out, no, like I couldn't get them, get their attention in time. So I just pull up to the border checkpoint with the ambulance with the lights on. And the guy's just looking at me. He's like, go. You're like, it's my first time, man. And so we get through there, and I drove through town. I actually passed like 3 people I knew on the way. And I texted them later. I go, hey, did you see the ambulance today? That was me driving. And and then we get to the hospital, and I've never driven an ambulance to the hospital before. And I pulled in the wrong entrance. Like there's totally an entrance for the ambulance,
for ambulances.
Yeah, and I pull in the main one, and I have to drive over some speed bumps, and I can literally hear this guy in the back go, "Oh, all right." So anyway,
wait a second.
All that aside, I did a pretty good job.
Compressions right there, right? You saved it.
So for my broken femur, but so all that.
Ouch.
All that said and done. I did, what I thought was a pretty good job. They told me later, they're like, no, you did great, man. So we make it all the way back. We dropped the guy off. It's another hour and 15-minute drive back to Alpine. And we get back and we stop at the gas station in town to one of the park rangers rode with us with the patients. And so they sent somebody from the park to pick him up. And so we all meet there, and so he's about to walk off, and I'm going to honk the horn at this guy and just say, hey, we'll see you later. I learned that day that when you hit the horn on an
Horn is the siren, yeah.
it turns everything on, like all the lights. And so I'm going to park around the gas station. There's people at every pump. One of the deputies is out there at the intersection, and he turns his lights on. And it's been a day. It's been a day. The lights can go out, and everybody. He told me later, he was like, "Man, what now?" And then, but there I am. Time stood still, and for like 30, 45 seconds, I'm freaking out trying to. I don't even know how to turn it off. I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like
there was no siren break. Well, no, it's not because it's electronic, so it's not. Yeah.
And they're all still, waiting to see what the ambulance is about to take off on an emergency, and I'm sitting still, and so it's probably pretty confusing for everybody there. And it's like, everybody in this town is now going to and I'm thinking about this, they're all going to know it was me. And so finally, the paramedic that was there, she goes, "You honked the horn, didn't you?" And I go, "I did."
It is.
She tells me how to turn it off. I turn it off. And then we just casually drive away like nothing happens. For a whole minute, I'm sitting there with lights and sirens, everything on. And all these people are like, "Oh shit, what's happening?" Nothing. And I just drive off like that. So that's my story.
That's great. That's great. I was going to tell you, talk about the chief talking to you and pull you aside and not say stuff in front of the patient or whatever. I was on a rescue squad as well as the fire department in one town. At one time, we had an accident in February one year. It was really, really icy out. This car skidded and right head first into a telephone pole, but fast, right? So, and one side there was a girl sitting in the front seat, and the whole front of the car was pushed in, and the whole dashboard was pushed in on her, right? So, get the other people out, and we cut the door off with the jaws, the O-cutters and the jaws, and we put the ram bar in to push the dashboard off of her to get her out of the car, right? So the lieutenant, right at the time, he's standing there with her. We're in the car. We got some stuff over her, and one of the guys operating. He's sitting there. He's trying to talk to her. He's calming her down, whatever. But she's freaking out, right? And as the ram bar is pushing the dashboard off of her leg, she goes, "Oh, stop! Please stop! You're breaking my leg in 1,000 pieces." And he should have caught himself. He stopped himself. He goes, "Honey, your legs are already in 1,000 pieces."
I mean, it's funny, but it's not.
No. I mean, this is like 20 years ago. So I mean, it's her leg's better by now, right?
Hopefully she can walk. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But yeah. I mean, she was fine. She was fine, other than the leg. So
when we did the extrication training,
and it wasn't in 1,000 pieces either. It was in like.
Right.
So
that's too many.
Well, here's the thing: an MVA is what made me join the volunteer fire department.
Yeah.
We witnessed a head-on collision. My friend Bill and I, and so we're first on scene. There's a big bang. I pulled over, got out of the car, and ran. And my friend, at first, when he heard the big bang, thought it was just the car backfiring again because it was an old car. But when he realized I just jumped out of the car and ran, he decided I should probably follow him. When we get to the scene and we realize we've got injuries here and we don't know what to do. We know there's a bunch of liquids coming out of the car. We know
a bunch of liquids coming out of the people. We
should probably get people away from this car, but we weren't sure. But we got people out of the car, got them off to the side, and that. But the whole feeling of not knowing what to do, we're like, I never want to be put in this situation again. Let's join the fire department, and that's how we joined the Rutgers Volunteer Fire Department when I was in college. So it's there's so many different ways to be called to it. And that was ours, just ignorance of what to do in a situation like that.
Absolutely.
So we got trained for it.
Bert Sandy just commented. He said, "Crashed my motorbike once, and it hurt my knee and broke his toe."
So we got to an MVA.
Thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely.
Thoughts and prayers. We got to an MVA once that involved a motorbike, and someone had pulled out, didn't see the motorcycle. The motorcycle slammed into the side of the car, destroyed the front of the car, sent him probably about 50 yards. and he's lying there, and he's near his bike. The gas tank has opened up. So the EMTs are there. I'm on the fire squad, and I'm backing up the nozzle man on the hose. And we've got the hose pointed right at the guy who was riding the motorcycle and the EMTs. And the one EMT goes, "Can you not point that right at us?" And I look at him, go, "You know, you're sitting in a puddle of gasoline right now. We're pointing this at you in case that ignites, and we can blow you away from it."
It was just water. You didn't have phone hooked up to it.
No. There's no phone. It was really because we didn't have at the time we didn't have that. You got to remember, this 35 years ago, John.
And now we've learned that it's full of forever chemicals that are a part of 99% of the human population. You know about that?
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. Yeah, AFFF foam was bad shit.
Yeah. But we didn't have it. So when we said
a simpler time,
what we're going to do is if this gasoline goes up, that we're pointed this way, not to put the fire out, but to knock you out of it. Both the guy who was injured and the other EMT goes, "Point it right here." Point it right here. right at you. Get me out of here.
So we got a picture here of Tony next to his gear. There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, my daughter took that photo.
Very nice.
That's cool. And he's got a finger up, and it's not the middle one.
No,
that's right.
That's the thumb. That's what he's doing right there.
And
it's his gear right there. T Drury right there. Was it 306? I see.
305.
305. That's a 5.
I really wanted a cooler number, but 305 is kind of grown up.
John, do you need these?
Look how small it is. I can look at the picture
I can
here.
see it.
Well, I mean, at least I didn't see 301 and it's 305. You know what I mean? So,
I can see that, and I just poured my third.
there you go.
Oh
man.
Now we couldn't find a picture of Dave when he was a firefighter.
35 years ago there was no cell phones.
So I don't have a picture of me 35 years ago either. So I understand. I do have a picture of me more recently than 35 years ago, and here it is. There you go.
Hey, look at you, man.
That was me, beardless, mustacheless, after working fire too. That's post. Post overhaul is what.
Oh my God, you look just like a dork.
There you go.
I'm glad you grew the beard. I'm really glad you grew the beard.
I like it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I like and I love how the flash has set up all of the set off the reflectors on your.
The reflectors on my gear. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but which we got. And for those of you curious. The helmet I'm wearing is a black. It's called a New Yorker style.
Yep, yes, it is.
It could also be called a Sam Houston. There's a couple of differences between a New Yorker and a Sam Houston, but
leather or plastic or
no, it's just a little bit of the style, but they're basically the same. If you go back to Tony's picture and look at the helmet in his up on his rack, that's a Metro.
Yes.
Okay, that one is I think that's the Wildland helmet.
It's a Wildland helmet. It's very similar to a Metro. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So.
And
they actually have a couple.
That's what I wore one of those.
No, I wore Metro when I first got on. We had Metros for a year and a half, and then we went to New Yorkers.
They got a couple at the station that we, like it's a volunteer fire department. They actually are paid employee. They're paid paramedics and sometimes when available firefighters. The volunteers were just supplemented, but within this organization, it's one of the best outfits in the whole region. And but they've got those the ones that look like motorcycle helmets. I thought that was the Metro helmet.
Interesting.
Metros have a little bit of a lip on the back.
Okay, well these are like almost a full-on motorcycle helmet where the whole full face comes up.
Gotcha. Yeah,
a Euro style. I think. Hey, I'm gonna grab a.
It could be Euro style. Sounds right. Yeah.
What are you gonna go grab?
I'm gonna get a light.
He's gonna get a light so he can shine. He's gonna get a flashlight so he can hold it under his face and tell us ghost stories.
Ooh.
No, I'm gonna complicate things even further with this flickery.
I like that. I thought you were gonna go get a light beer. I'm like, what?
He's gonna go get a Miller Lite. Is what he's gonna.
Right here, yeah. Like, see, my hat is not.
Yes, Terlingua
low life. There you go. Oh, I need one of those hats, Tony.
Yeah, we need that. But we're not from Terlingua. We are low lives, but we are.
We'll have to make
95% of the people that buy these hats are not from Terlingua.
You know what you call a low life from Jersey, don't you?
What's that?
Someone from Jersey.
And we're both from Jersey, so we can say that. No,
we're allowed to say that.
No. Anyway, all right. I got one story. I'm going to give you one war story.
All right.
I'm gonna give you one war story.
I'm gonna save my war story for the top threes.
Fine. I'm gonna give you one war story. Now,
Actually,
this
I got
is
two war stories.
I have many war stories for you, but I'm not going to sit here for 3 hours and bore everybody with war stories. I'm gonna give you one.
John was in the fire department a lot longer than I was.
Long time, 2 different departments, very long time. I was an officer, the whole 9 yards. But I'll give you one war story.
But were you a gentleman?
I was never a gentleman.
You're
Anyway,
an officer, but not a gentleman.
not a gentleman. I'll give you one more story. Now, we never talk about politics. We never talk about religion on the show. This isn't religious by any means, but you'll get where I'm going, why I'm saying that by prefacing it. Okay. So we get a call. It's a Saturday night, probably about 12:30 after midnight on a Saturday night. So Sunday morning, basically, right? We get a call.
That's never a good thing.
It was a Cape. Smoke alarms activated with the smell of something burning. That was the way the call came in, right? So we get down there, and we get inside, and we're walking around the main floor, the first floor, and we smell wood. We smell combustibles burning, but we can't. There's a little bit of a haze, but we can't find anything, and smoke alarms going off. So we open the door. Now it's a Cape. So if you're familiar with Capes, some of the older ones, they have a door that goes up to a staircase, and there's just one long room upstairs.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
half is to the right, half is to the left.
Half is to the right, half to the left, but it's one staircase to get up. And the staircase goes to the one side of the house, and then you have more or less. Some of them have one room, some of them have two. There's a door. There's a wall in the middle with a door. So one of the officers opens the door and takes 3 steps up. A lot of heat. Okay, the fire's upstairs. So we go upstairs. Myself, I'm on the nozzle, so my buddy's backing me up. We go upstairs. We wind up fog venting out the window. We pull the fire out towards us because it was just heat and smoke. We couldn't find it. It was in the other room. This was a textbook structure fire. The truck company went upstairs. They vented over the fire. We fog vented out. We brought the fire out. I turned around. We hit the fire down. Did an indirect attack. And knocked it down, overhauled the whole 9 yards. So knock on wood, it just worked out. It's textbook, right? So our packs go off, mine and my partners.
Except for
we go outside, and crews went in, overhaul, not whole 9 yards, right? Anyway, about 25 minutes later, half an hour later, they're finished doing overhaul, and we're outside, and they look at me and my buddy Mark, who were upstairs, put it out, and they said, "You guys want to go up and check out, what you did? Check out the overhaul."
Right.
So we go back in, we walk upstairs, and now half the upstairs was split by a wall with a door. Okay, on the outside of the fire room, right where the door was into the fire room, there was the wall. There was a picture. There was a picture of Jesus on the wall. Okay.
It was still there.
The entire frame was burnt. There was a plexiglass covering on the picture that was melted away, and it was drippings of the plexiglass melted, still hanging there, burnt. The picture was perfect.
Wow.
There wasn't a mark on the picture.
Do you have a picture of that?
No, because that was in 1989, so there was no.
and you don't carry your cell
in
phone.
1989.
Not so much, no.
But you don't bring your camera or your cell phone into a burning structure.
That's true. That's
No.
true. Too, yeah.
After the fact, no, maybe.
Maybe.
Anyway, so that's the one more story I'll give you. So there you go. All right. So on that, we'll talk more about this, but let's get to the top threes. We chose the top threes tonight
In honor of
this particular
joining
thing,
the
joining the fire department. Okay. And we've done, obviously, this is our eighth top 3 list we've done with Tony.
Man,
So,
really?
yes. So we picked top 3 favorite pieces of Firematic equipment.
So for those people who are not not been in the fire department, Firematic is an adjective.
Right.
I think it will.
Explain it more.
Firematic is anything related to the fire service, anything related to the fire department. It can be anything. It can be anything from your helmet to the truck and everything in between.
Gotcha.
All right.
It's a Firematic equipment. So
I gotcha.
there you go. Top 3 pieces of Firematic equipment. Tony kicks off. What's
Oh.
your top?
Saturday night they play.
My top three. The most fun thing I've gotten to use so far is the pardon. Too many fires. Not the cannon.
Well, I got to say, it did get dark there really quick.
Yes,
was
it
just like,
did.
boom! It was like,
Hey, let me mute for a second.
yeah. All right.
So number 3, Tony.
I think he's doing number 1 first.
Are you going 1, 2, 3?
You just can't hear me. All right. Anyway, the cannon on top of the tender. It shoots
Okay, deck gun. The deck gun on top. On the
Oh,
top.
the deck gun.
the deck end by remote control.
Remote control.
It's a remote control. He's a monitor. It's a monitor that it's a remote control that you
Oh,
can
so
actually.
cool.
The brush truck has one that you can control from the inside of the truck. This one you plug in the remote controller and you kind of stand on the deck but just shooting that off, easy way to do it. Much safer.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
The deck gun.
Hmm I got one for you. That one too. Go ahead.
Hang on a second. Oh,
Mhm. Tony is coughing right now. He swallowed a bug.
He is overcome with smoke.
He's overcome his smoke. It's a little bit of smoke inhalation
well,
from that brush
Well,
fire.
I'm going to pour my fourth.
I'm shocked that I still got a little bit of this there, though. So
Oof.
still working on
it is dusty as shit out here, and the pollen has been off the charts.
Dusty
What
pollen.
kind of pollen do you get there? You said there was no plants or anything.
I haven't really. No, there's a ton of plants.
Oh, okay.
There's actually more unique species of
Trees is what he was
in
saying.
this
Oh,
desert
trees.
than any other desert on Earth. There's not trees. There's a lot of shrubs. There's everything's kind of getting ready to go off right now. So it's
So all the plants that exist there are having sex and it's making you cough.
yes. Ooh, hello. Hi.
There you go.
Thanks.
All right. So the deck cannon, number 1. Number 2, I'm going to go with and this is kind of partially a joke. The Jaws of Life. When we did our first extrication training, the first thing he told us was, if anybody calls this the Jaws of Life today, you're doing laps around the building.
So it was a Hearst tool, basically.
Well, each tool has a name. It's a cutter, a spreader, and the wrench.
Spreader.
There's
Yeah.
3
Jaws,
tools there.
Jaws of Life is like a TV.
Joe's
set.
always a spreader. Yeah, Joe's always a spreader.
But
I
mean, they're
prefer
all
I
solid.
prefer the O cutter. I like to get the doors open. I've worked at Joe's of Life, but I prefer
But,
cutting the A post and the B post with the cutter. So
right. I really, that's, I've worked with power tools for a long time. I've been a plumber. I've been all kinds of things in the construction business. I've never gotten to use tools like this, and they are amazing.
those hydraulics make those things work so
Yeah.
well. It's amazing, isn't
Oh,
it?
the power behind them is amazing.
And so that right there. And then I guess third would be, I
Let there
really
be light. We can see Tony.
There you go.
I have a soft spot in my heart for driving
And
the big old tender.
Was-
The tender we have holds 5,000 gallons of water.
Oh wow.
And, but it really is. It's almost identical. The transmission and the engine are a lot like the one that the beer liner had, and so I'm pretty familiar with driving a large vehicle around with a bunch of liquid in the back. So I'm actually the most
Familiar
qualified.
with, yeah.
Yeah.
But did
And,
you break down? But did you break down in Colorado with it?
No, I've never broken down in Colorado.
Blown a tire. That's what it was. You blew a tire in Colorado.
No, we broke down a blue tire. I mean, we did everything. Everything that could go wrong with the bus, we did in the beer liner years. But no, I really like the tender itself. So I guess I really like that thing because the deck gun was number 1. But that's the one I've gotten the most experience driving, and I like it, man. I took it out the other night. So I was like, well, hey, if we got done with training, weekly training, and I said, let me, I want to go drive the tender up to the ghost town where most people out here hang out, kind of the entertainment district, if you will. I was like, if anything ever goes down up there, we're gonna know. One of us needs to know how to get this truck in and out of there because it's
Right.
it's a clusterfuck of a parking lot. And so we drove it up there, and of course I honked the horn at a few people, and had the lights on and all the things. But
But did you give anybody the finger?
no, Not when I'm on duty, sir. I'm 100% professional.
There you go.
Those are my three, and I'm sticking to
There
them.
you go. Before we get to Dave's, really quick, Kat Reyes just chimed in. Best part about road trips is all the stories you get to take home, she said.
Agreed.
And that's the whole thing. When you're on a road trip and things go wrong, you have to keep in mind that it's going to be a great story.
It's a great, exactly.
As long
It's
as you
going to
survive
wind
it.
up being a great story, exactly. And folks, anybody listening right now, Kat will actually be on the show next week.
Next week.
Adventure starts when all your plans fail. So even if
Exactly.
it sucks while you're
Exactly.
There you
Oh,
go.
I'm writing that down. Adventures
I like
start
that.
when
That's
all
a
your
great
plans
quote.
fail.
That-
Seriously, adventures
Your show opener, John.
start when all your plans fail.
Hour 35 of the show.
Plans fail. There we go. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Tony. That's perfect.
That's a good
All right. Dave, what are yours?
3 and 2 are very, very much related. They're almost one and the same. It is the firefighter's jacket and the firefighter's helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, these became very, very important. We did a drill once. We went out to Elizabeth, New Jersey, and anybody from Jersey knows that Elizabeth is pretty much nothing but oil refineries. And we went there to learn how to fight a naphtha fire, because that happens so often in
Rutgers at the college.
at Rutgers, all the time. I don't know why we were there for it, but it was fun. It was fun.
Mhm.
I was in the last hose team to go, and what we did is we fought this fire. We were in a pit that had naphtha that was burning, but it had foam over it.
Mm.
So usually when you're in liquid and walking, you drag your feet so you don't trip. You drag your feet in something in this situation, you're going to burn your ass off as you're making a wake, and because it's still on fire. Once it hits oxygen, boom, it flares up. So you got to step up and down. And so we're hitting this. The point of the drill was to get to a wall with a pattern of from a supply line rather than a tack hose. Right. So we're hitting it with 3.5. So we've got 8 people on each hose with a nozzle on it. When I was the last team to go, so they unleashed every bit of naphtha that was still left. So they had these nozzles that were coming down, and on the right side, I was on the left side. On the right side, one of the nozzles got very, very light. There was not as much flame coming through, and I'm wondering about it. And I kind of figure out what was happening a little too late, because it was just a clog, and when it released itself, it was a huge fireball, and it hit the guy on the right. He was one of the, I don't want to disparage this guy, but he was one of the weaker guys on the fire department at the time, and it knocked him backwards, broke the pattern. And when the pattern broke, so Johnny knows this, Tony knows this, when you've got a pattern, the pattern is holding the flames back. And if it's really intense flames and you've got 2 locked patterns in, you open one up, and we were really close to the wall at the time, the flame just swept through, and it swept through right across where our nozzle was.
Wow.
And I was on the nozzle.
Mm-hmm.
The guys who were running the drill had gotten lackadaisical because all the other 8 teams that had gone before had no issue. So they were not near the control panel. And they see this, they hear it happen, they look up, they see it, and they see that the officer who was guiding us between the 2 nozzle men and the nozzle man, as far as they were concerned, were gone. They couldn't see us through the wall of flame. They rushed towards the control panel. Our officer at the time had taken the guy who got knocked backwards, pulled him back into the pattern, closed it off. The flame died down. They could see us. They could see that I'm still on my nozzle, and I've not broken the pattern.
Right.
The officer's still standing, so they don't kill it, and they wait for us. So the reason that the jacket and the helmet to me are 2 and 3 is because we were not wearing Scott packs. And a Scott pack, for those who don't know, that is that mask with the tanks that supply breathable air to the firefighter while they're in a burning
Not
fire.
oxygen.
It's known as
That's not oxygen. It's breathable air.
breathing
It's
air.
it's breathing air.
It's called breathing air.
Yeah,
called breathing
it's
air.
compressed. It's compressed air that releases. So we're not wearing Scott packs, but we have our flaps up on our jackets. We got the flaps down on the helmets.
Were you wearing Nomex hoods?
No, we were not. We've got the visors down.
Mhm.
Now, both the officer and myself were quite. I had long hair at the time, not as long as Tony's.
You had hair?
Yeah, not as long as Tony's, but I had a full beard and mustache. The officer had a full beard and mustache, and this is past tense for a reason.
Hold on.
Well,
You
you had it.
Had.
You did have it.
You had a beard mustache. You had a
Unlike
beard
you.
mustache.
You did not. But so when the flames swept through, it hit us like a ton of bricks. Now, I never left my station because I know that if I break my pattern, the guys behind me are fucked, right?
Right.
So I'm holding. When it was all over and said and done, the officer and I had to drive back together because no one could stand the smell of burning hair because burnt hair smells awful.
Oh, it's terrible.
No more beard is what you're saying, basically.
Well, not on this side of the face, and it's reversed on the camera. That was all gone. My long hair, a bunch of that was burnt off. But the point is, from here to here was fine because of the flaps of the jacket were up.
Right.
Right. I had only a strip that was burnt off because the visor was down. The officer's helmet had to be. We had to trash it because it was melted.
Oh wow.
My visor, they had to pull my visor off and replace it because it was the whole right side of it was entirely blackened and pitted.
And it just happened. It happened so fast, man.
Happened so fast. But our gear that day, even though we were not wearing Scott packs, the jacket and the helmet pretty much prevented serious injury to us.
They did their job.
They did their job. So
Yeah,
that's 2 and 3 together.
There
Because
you
of
go.
that. Number 1, and John knows this. I've talked about this many times to John because this is
His favorite tool.
my favorite tool, hands down, is the Halligan bar.
Yeah. That was a close.
There's the Halligan bar right there. Now, John, keep this up for a little bit. Or take it off so we can see Tony for a little bit. And then I'll tell you.
Oh, you don't have to see me. Leave that up. I'll look at that Halligan.
The Halligan's a beautiful thing. So the Halligan bar, one of my friends wanted to buy me a Halligan bar. I wanted to get like a charmed wearing necklace of the Halligan bar because I was so in love with this thing.
That seems like a bad charm necklace right there. That might.
That'd be badass, wouldn't
I mean, it look cool, but man, you can hurt yourself with that thing.
it? Well, you need to soften it.
You don't fall asleep at night with that. You wind up like,
No, you gotta take it. You gotta take it off.
Yeah, oh, the irony.
But we had in our firehouse, we had like these offices in the back that they wanted to redo. So they're like, we're going to tear them out. So they had a roof, they had windows, they had doors. So they figured now's a good time to teach the volleys overhaul. And those who don't know what overhaul is when you tear through walls, ceilings, floors, and all that to make sure there's nothing still burning inside all of that.
it's also called fire extension. Make sure there's no fire extension beyond where you've already put out.
That must be a
Fire
good term.
And now
Fire
you got all the infrared, and you know, like there's like.
Oh, we didn't have that 35 years ago.
No, I'm saying now they do. It makes it a lot.
Yeah, fire extension beyond where you fire extension into the wall, fire extension into the next room, fire extension. Yeah.
So what they did is they had the volleys line up, and they'd give them a task, and they'd say, pick your bar. So at one point they say, the window needs to be gone. I grab a Halligan bar, bust the
Coolest
thing out.
job on the.
Oh, it's the best part, isn't it? Because you get so much aggression out. Then the next one they give me is take out a door frame. I grab the Halligan bar, use that hook on the side of it. So John, pull it back up again.
It does everything, man.
Oh, it does. So John, pull the Halligan bar back up. Right.
I will do so.
So you can see that curved point off to the left there. So then they tell me we need to aerate the roof. We need a square taken out of the roof. And I go for an axe. And they went, no, wise ass. And they hand me a Halogen bar. All right, so I climb the ladder, get on the roof. Now you can see here on the left, there's that spike.
It goes through anything.
It goes through anything.
I've never whacked anything with it that it didn't go through. So.
No, not at all. So I put 4 holes in the roof with that spike. And I widen them out. I jiggle it around to make widen it out. And you see on the right side, there's a fork. So I sink the fork in one of the holes, and I use it like a can opener to the next hole. And then a can opener in the next hole, a can opener in the next hole, can opener in the next hole. Pull out a pretty much 2 foot by 2 foot square and throw it at our trainees' feet.
Wowza.
They remember that. So the first ever burning structure I was at is Rutgers. It was the marine biology building, and it is the building's concrete. For some reason, they did not have the X tool with them to cut through the roof. The X tool is a big saw, and they didn't have that. And
So there was a structure fire at the marine biology building.
yeah,
Have you told Matt about this?
no, I've never had. He would cry.
Because Matt went to Rutgers for marine biology.
Well, after I was been there, so they had rebuilt by that point.
I got you. There you go.
But so because they couldn't vent the roof because it was concrete, we didn't have anything to cut through the concrete. They wanted to cross ventilating.
Right.
So they're trying to get physical plan to open the back door
Fair enough.
because we got the front door open already.
And
They can't get them. They can't get the keys, and this is one of those university doors. So when I arrive, and I'm on the second truck, I get there like Jan and Darnell need you in back. Jan and Darnell was two of the paid guys. So I go running back. Jan's holding a Halogen bar. I'm like, all right, what do you guys need? Like, we need that door to go away. So John, pull the Halogen bar up again.
That's why I wanted to ask.
I will.
And if you look all the way to the left, you'll see there's again that
20-minute top 3, by the way.
I warned John about this before we started. This would be a long story.
Oh, man, you didn't warn me.
But there's that curved hook all the way to the left there. You can take it down now, John. So that curved hook, I sunk that in the door jamb between the door and where the
Which is what it's for. So it's perfect
For-
use. So
yeah.
there you go.
between the door jamb and the frame. Put my foot on the building, hold off, and pop the door right off. Right off.
There you go.
I think it was Jan.
It did what it was made to do.
Absolutely.
It was
And Jan looks at Dar and goes, I love to watch that boy work.
There
You gotta
you
remember,
go.
I'm like 19 at the point. But the best part about this
was he drinking while he was saying that?
Yeah, probably. But the best part about this is I have this habit of following up something very cool that I do with something so stupid to eliminate everything cool that I did, because I'm now in this like little supply closet, and I take my glove off, feel the door. It's warm, but it's not hot. So I kicked the door, and they yell at me like, "Why'd you kick the door?" I'm like, "When am I going to get a chance to kick a door in again? It's a burning building. Let me kick the door in." And I can see there's a couple paid guys in there waving me to get the hell out, and there's the fire's over there somewhere. I'm like, okay, hang.
Depending on the door, though, some doors you're gonna love the fact that you were able to kick the door in, right?
Yeah.
Some doors you're not gonna wanna. You're gonna want to use a tool.
Yeah.
You're gonna break your knee, and it's not gonna.
No. This is the weak wooden door. I kicked that thing. I kicked the hell out of that thing. So they're like, okay, hang the fan in the exterior frame. So I put the fan up, and I run the cord back to the truck, and they plug it in. The fan starts going, and the guys that are inside are like, hey, we're getting more smoke in here. Where are we going to get the cross ventilation? And Darnell goes, hey, Dave, which way is the arrow pointing on that fan? Arrow.
You were blowing fresh air into the building instead of taking.
Like, go turn the fucking fan around.
No. That's a technique. Okay,
But not for this.
It's positive pressure venting.
for
Okay.
a specific situation.
Right.
Not for this one. We were trying to remove the smoke from the building so they could see what the hell they were doing. Instead, all I was doing was blinding the poor guys. Needless to say, we basically boiled about $1 million worth of experimental fish that day.
Ooh, man.
You should ask Matt about that because he probably has stories from the other side of things.
It's about the good parts.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, next time I'm with Matt, I'll have to tell him that
You
story.
don't have to do that, yeah.
If we've got another half hour.
Man, that was about
There's a
as top 3 as it gets, man.
There you go.
But the Halligan Bar, I've always loved the Halligan Bar, and there's nothing I can't do with it.
The ode to it. This was the ode to the Halligan Bar.
There you go. It was.
There needs to be a
part
poem. Wait a second. Do I hear another song coming?
You're
Tony?
gonna have to write the
man.
Dave. You're gonna have to write the poem. Tony's gonna have to change it into a song. All right.
There we go.
Can I just write it and also make it a song?
Yeah, no, just
That'll work too.
Just let Tony write it.
I'm not
That'll
really
work.
great at taking other people's.
No, Tony, you have at it then. You're good.
Tony, have at
Hey,
it.
well, I'm not saying don't write the poem. I'm just not. I'm saying that I may not turn.
We
your
can
poem.
attach the poem to Tony's song and put them together. There you go.
Yes,
There
we
we
can
go.
combine.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I'm the first one who gets to hear the song.
All right.
Okay.
I will give you my top 3. Here we go. All right. You're actually going to get a lot from me because I'm going to give you extras. Okay.
Ooh.
No, there's so many
These are-
extras.
No. The extras.
I actually brought an extra to this thing too. So just
Okay.
finish it. Like I have one.
It's not even honorable mention because I have an honorable mention. I have one honorable mention. It's extras. The extras are what I always carried in my gear. Okay. I always had these things in my gear. Okay. In the pockets, on my helmet, whatever.
Wait a second. You had a Batman utility belt?
Utility
sorta.
pockets, whatever you want to call it. A brass spanner wrench.
Oh, always needed.
Okay, brass spanner wrench though, not the aluminum one. I want a brass spanner wrench.
Yeah.
Webbing, because you can do fucking 3 million things with webbing. Okay. From dragging somebody, just holding open a door.
So
or
wait, we
whatever.
went from Batman to
Not
Spider-Man.
webbing. I'm not shooting a web.
no.
right?
Oh, okay.
No, it's just a material strap. It's all woven together, and it's one big loop. You can actually put it around somebody and drag them, or you can wrap it around doorknobs and hold it. There's so many uses for it. A seatbelt cutter,
Oh,
Yep.
a window punch for the windshield.
I
love
keep
doing
one.
that.
I keep one of my
doing all in
car
one
time.
tool these days.
Well, you can get a combo of those. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And a door chock. I always had a door chock or 2 on my helmet. Because you're crawling, you want to
On
hold
your
the door
helmet.
open. On my helmet, inside the, put like a
Yeah.
big rubber band around inside the helmet. Put the chocks in there. Pull the chock out. Boom, chock the door open. Done. So that's
Did
my
you-
those are my
Wait a
extras.
second. Did you say boom chakalaka?
Boom chakalaka. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I-
Yeah. Exactly. Boom chakalaka. Anyway, all right. So my honorable mention. Tony mentioned it before. Thermal imaging camera.
We didn't have those when I was in the fire department.
Thermal imaging camera.
Well, they have them
I
now,
got
and they're really
Yeah,
cool.
no, they do. No, they've had them for a while. I got to tell you, we got called.
Wait a
we
second.
got
They're not used just for ghost hunting.
called- no,
Well, they can be.
can be. So
We get a call, man.
We got called exactly. We got called to.
Who are you going to call?
We got called to a structure fire once, and I've used them a lot, but this one particular time we got called to a structure fire once, and we smelt smoke, but there wasn't even anything out. There wasn't even a lot of smoke in the building. But I took the thermal imaging camera and I went. Every single wall was glowing, all around.
It was all inside.
It was all inside the walls because it was thick sheetrock that was holding the flames inside the wall and holding the smoke inside the wall. It was like a
So the
vent.
insulation was burning.
Yeah, no, whatever was ever in between, insulation, wiring, beams, whatever was in there burning, but it was holding everything up. We were on the first floor.
The bodies that the previous owners had.
Right,
hidden walls.
yeah. So anyway, so
all the cash they've been holding up in the side.
exactly. So that's my honorable mention. Okay, so my number 3. Now, I don't know if either of you have heard of some of these, but my number 3. I was on an engine company. I was actually on a truck.
I'm taking notes, man.
I was on a truck company. I was on a truck company for a while too, but I grew up in an engine company, and my first tour and my third tour was on an engine company. Anyway, my number 3 is called a Bresnan distributor. Okay,
I don't know what that is.
Breslin distributor is also known as a cellar nozzle. Okay.
Oh, I thought a Breslin.
Okay.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
put-
What's that-
that's a picture of it right there.
I thought that was a boxing promoter.
No. Breslin distributor, so you hook up a 2.5 or
That should be
3-inch
Breslin.
line.
Okay.
You cut a hole in the floor. If you got a basement fire that you can't get down because it's too hot, you cut a hole in the floor. You stick this down, and you see all the openings on it,
and I
right?
see the
It goes
coupling on the
everywhere.
bottom.
And
The
it
couplings on the
spins.
bottom.
It spins, and it just puts it just basically just spins
So you're
everywhere.
basically saying it's
It becomes a sprinkler.
it
yeah, it's a
becomes
portable. It's a portable sprinkler.
it's a portable sprinkler. It puts it out, right? That's
Very
my number. That's my number 3. My number 2 is a Navy nozzle. And here's an Akron copy of one. So Navy nozzle. That's a Navy nozzle, but you also
What
add the
in
applicator.
world is that?
I'm going to tell you. Okay. See where the opening at the top is?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
there's like a little there's like little dots with another thing holding on by
Which is a spray, right?
right. This is what you add to that. You put that
Okay.
in. You put this applicator. Anybody listening is curious? Minute 55, an hour 55 on the podcast.
The Navy nozzle.
That's a Navy nozzle. So they were originally made to fight fires on ships, to put the applicators down into the hole and put fires out. And at the very tip of that, it's called a pineapple at the very tip. And it's basically the same kind of thing as the Breslin distributor. But
So it
anyway,
spins?
put that on there. But the thing that these have many uses, and we've used them in a lot of places, but the biggest thing you use them for is car fires when you come in on angles. Now, you can use a regular fog pattern, but you can use these if you push the bail of the nozzle all the way forward, you're gonna get a stream of water out of that top, like a smoothbore stream out of that top opening. And as you move into the car, you're hitting the fire, you're knocking it down, and then you back it out, and then the water starts coming out of the tip of this applicator, and you can actually stick it inside the car or inside the passenger compartment, inside the engine compartment, under the car to put water on the gas tank, so the flame impingement on the gas tank can take it off and everything else. So
it seems like there'd be some really nefarious uses for this.
there's a lot you can use it a lot of ways too, right? That's my number 2. And my number 1, and it has been since they actually developed it. Akron came out with it, I believe, first, but I've used a few of them. But it's the Akron Saber Jet. Now, I don't know if you know.
Oh yeah. No, I've used
A smooth bore, and a fog nozzle combination in one. So when you push it all the way forward, you have a smooth bore, so you have that fast pattern coming out. You can break through things. You can have this really strong stream of water coming out, 100 psi, whatever you want to, and then you can back it off, and it goes into a fog pattern. And you can actually use some of them. This Akron does it too. Some of them do, some of them don't. It's just done by the bail. You can actually turn the fog pattern. If you go all the way to where it would be a flush pattern, that opens up to the smooth bore, and then it goes back to the
and you can water your garden with it.
And you can water. Well, if you water your garden with this, you're not gonna have a garden afterwards.
But it really looks like a lot of those. It's more high powered, of course, but it looks a lot like those nozzles you can buy for
The new ones,
different-
yeah,
to do your garden. Yeah,
Those are mine.
I'm sneaking a smoke. It was all
you're not.
fired on.
There's You're. Well, John took the
Oh,
thing
I
down
was. I
just
feel like
enough
you
that you
can
weren't
now.
sneaking.
Well, I was.
There you go.
I never knew you were such a nozzle guy, man. That's cool. That's great.
Yeah, to the point where so
John likes his nozzles.
I'll give you a quick story, really quick one. It's another war story, but I'll give you a quick one. Jim, he's commented in. We've talked about him on the show. He's my partner in
Jim
Coastal
Silent
Brewer-
partner.
in Coastal Brewworks. He was on the fire department with me years ago too. Obviously, in my first department.
Before or after he was a Marine?
During.
Oh, during. Okay.
During. Okay. So anyway, he was on my engine company. I moved out of town for a year and a half. Okay. I had to leave the fire department. Okay, because I moved out of town. When I came back, the roster was full. I couldn't get back on my company. So I joined the truck company because I wanted to get back in the fire department in my town, right? So I joined the truck company. Now, so we get a working fire in a 5 and dime. And it's an early morning fire, and there's like 3 ceilings, and there's tin ceilings with tongue and groove above it. It's really
Oh,
a hard roof, and the
Yeah.
fire's burning in there, and it's coming up above. And right, so I'm in there, and I got a pike pole, and I'm trying to pull the ceilings down, and Jim is on a nozzle from the engine company because I'm
cool.
right. So I'm using a pike pole, and I'm pulling the ceilings down, and I'm doing fine, whatever. But I want to be in the nozzle. I don't want to be in a pike pole. I'm an engine guy, right? So I look at him. At one point, they told us to wait because they're venting. I said, "Hey, bro." I look at Jim. I go, "Hey, bro." Masks on, everything else. I go, "Hey, bro." He goes, "What?" I go, "Hold this a second." He goes, "All right." He takes the pike pole from me. Let me see that. I take the nozzle from him. That was it. I was like, "All right, you're pulling the ceilings.
And he still trusts you to be a partner with you.
To this day, right? Exactly.
Jerk.
So there you go. Anyway, but
I had-
and then,
I have one more honorable mention.
John, look at the comments.
oh geez, who
Oh,
commented?
here we go.
There he is. Never give a shruggy the nozzle. Oh.
This would be the Jim he's talking about right here.
That's ladies and gentlemen. That is the guy I was just talking about. That is the guy I handed the.
That is Mr. Jim. How
Awesome.
you doing,
I'm glad he
Jim?
was here for it.
Gotta love it.
I haven't seen Jim in a while. Miss you, buddy.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, that was interesting. That was great. And then I wouldn't give him the nozzle back. I was like, pull the ceilings. Come on, let's go.
Wait a second. There's so many ways he could have got that nozzle back. He had
Hey.
a pike pole.
He was the Marine. He was the Marine. Pull the ceiling. I got the nozzle.
No, there's no such thing as was a Marine.
He is the Marine.
That's right.
He is a
For
Marine
the purpose of this story, he was the Marine in that equation. That's
in
all I
the
meant.
story, but
In the
he
story,
also
right.
he's a Marine that had a pike pole. He
Exactly.
couldn't get a nozzle back from you.
He would. I'm his brother. He would never do that.
Yeah, he so could have. He so could have housed you in so many ways.
This is true, and I still to this day actually worry that he's still holding that card in his back pocket. Like,
From his comment, it sounds like he may be.
right? I mean, this fire was 27 years ago.
Oh, this still may come into play.
So anyway, but yeah. So I mean, they're all war stories. I mean, yes, obviously under the situation that's going on, it's intense. It's you're fighting a fire. There's property, lives, everything at stake. But after the fact, they're called war stories, and you can wax nostalgic on them and
And
everything.
during
else.
this really intense situation, John's
it's
only
also-
thinking about his desire to hold a nozzle.
But hey, all said and done, it's important to talk about the experience of that, man, and share it together because you in this line of work, we're gonna run into a lot of things that are we'll never forget, and sometimes
Absolutely.
not in a great
Yeah.
way. And
Absolutely.
if you bottle all that stuff up, it's not healthy. So
It's not healthy. You're 100%. Yeah. And not only that too. And not only that too. I don't know if you watch anybody that watches the show Chicago Fire. I watch it. But there one character on the show, Herman, years ago. I mean, many years ago, early on in the show, he was saying to a younger firefighter that was on the fire company with him, he said, and this is 100% true. He said, and I quote, he said, the job of an older firefighter is to make sure that young firefighters become old firefighters.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I want to be an old firefighter, man, and I'm not young.
Exactly. So anyway, all right. What's on the horizon for Alacron?
I have a whole. I just finished up a gallery show with some Big Ben photography. Wrapped that up at Clifton, Texas. I've still got a few pieces I'm gonna leave.
This is the first show we've not had his photography on the show.
Well, we
Oh,
had
true.
his daughter's photography on one picture.
His daughter.
That's right, and a picture of the beers I was gonna drink.
And yeah, well, I showed one of them. Yeah, exactly.
And so I just wrapped that up. I'm gonna leave a few pieces, and they've asked me to keep some pieces on the wall in there. So if I sell anything, I'm gonna put some more things in its place. I've got some stuff showing here in Terlingua, and next month I'm gonna begin a show at the famous Starlight Theater. So during spring break and all that jazz, I'm gonna have some of my favorite stuff up on the wall, and hopefully they buy it all up. So I'm doing a lot of photo stuff, and the next month or so, I'm going to be doing Jeep tours and canoe trips down the Rio Grande, like probably every other day. It's going to get
Very nice.
busy.
That's
So,
awesome.
I'm
Good
looking
luck to
forward
you,
to it.
and to give you
Hey,
luck,
thanks, man.
I'm going to pour more.
You would.
He's got half that bottle is gone tonight. Is what he's got.
Yeah, probably. I've probably gone through half this bottle. I don't know if I'm going to wake up tomorrow. At this point, don't care.
Exactly. By the way, I forgot to mention this before. I'm wearing a Cambridge, Massachusetts. It's Harvard Square. It's the Harvard Square station.
Awesome.
From-
Now, I noticed the shield on it, and I actually thought about wearing my Terlingo fire and EMS shirt, but I'm not supposed to drink when I'm on my duty.
Yeah, you
so I didn't.
And I told John that if
I'm not wearing a uniform. I just wore, like I said, I wore this. I was actually it was between this and the Pittsburgh Fire Department shirt.
Well, you're retired. I'm still on.
There you go. Right.
if I had worn the shirt that I wore when I was in the fire department, it would come to like about here.
I was going to say it'd be a belly shirt and it'd be really tight.
It'd be a belly shirt. It'd be belly shirt, probably ripping at the seams. There's no way I could put that thing on. It's now part of a memory quilt that I have, because I've got some good memories from it. But like, and John can attest this. I don't know if you're far deep enough into it at this point, or maybe the people out there are just really cool.
I'm actually beginning Firefighter 1 officially next week.
Well, I'm talking about the culture more. And
Okay.
John can attest this. You're probably not deep into it. Or it's very possible that people are just too cool there, but there tends to be drama and politics in a firehouse.
Oh my God, yes, it's a very different.
Whoa. Tends to be.
There's always because you got
even out here where it's very different. That's still a thing.
You got to think about it. You've got a bunch of guys that are willing to run into a burning building, so they're not right in the brain to begin with.
Correct.
So when they're not running into a burning building, they're still not right in the brain. So shit happens, things get said, and so I've got a lot of great memories from when I was on the squad. There are memories that are more tied to that as well. So
right. Well, as far as Jim commenting into, again, he's my partner in Coast. He's one of my partners in Coastal Brew Works. He's my brother. I grew up with him. I've known him
since he was like 5, right?
I've known him since I was in 2nd grade and he was in kindergarten.
Okay, so 7. I was 2 years off.
I was 7. He was 5.
He was 5.
He was 5. I was 7. And which I know he grew up and he joined the fire department out of high school. I mean, because of me and my father, or whatever. But and he got involved with that. And so, like I said before, Marines and fire department at the same time. So. But I have so many.
So you're
friends.
saying he's entirely insane? Marines and fire department. Yeah.
I have so many friends to this day, that I consider brothers that I was on the fire department with, and whenever I see them, it's old home week. It's like family. It's like seeing family. It's like seeing family.
When you share experiences like that, man, it forges the bond.
100%.
Here's the thing: when you're in a building that's burning around you, the politics go bye.
Jim, if you're still watching, really quick, what's your favorite Firematic piece of equipment? Favorite? Don't give me a top 3. Just give me your one piece of Firematic equipment that's your number one. It can be one of the ones we said. I don't know if you watched all of our.
And you're just trying to prove he's still watching.
There's that.
He's still watching, exactly.
But also, one thing that none of us mentioned as part of our favorite equipment for a firehouse, the chili pot.
Oh man,
that's a very important part of any firehouse.
This is true,
right?
And the one thing I was going to mention was like one of the lowliest tools we use is the hose washer. It's fitting. Yeah, no, it's really important because if you don't clean all the stuff off the hose, like the hose gets,
well, there's so many important pieces of equipment.
In the summertime, that is one of the greatest jobs out here, washing hoses, man.
You get wet and cool. Yeah. But there's so many things out there that just don't get the attention because they do such an important job, like the Cascade system for a Scott pack.
Right.
The things that refill all those tanks. And those
that machine right there is like, no, hey,
that's life-giving.
Just fixed that thing in ours today. So ahead of our training.
TIC. What's TIC, John?
Hold on, I'm gonna put it up. I'm just no, I can't do that. All right. Let me go to this. Jim said TIC. Jim, elaborate because I'm about 3 beers in. So.
And it's probably
He's
something more
4
modern.
mezcals
And it's probably something I'm going to be like,
4?
oh shit, and hit my head. Right.
Alacron, this is probably about 7 or 8 shots of mezcal in, so there's no way I'm going to get it. It's probably something more
So you're
modern.
supposed to give it. You're supposed to just give it besitos. You just like little kisses.
Oh,
and
thermal imaging camera. Thermal imaging. Yeah.
Oh,
that
there
was
we
that was my honorable mention. Yeah, absolutely. Thermal
Right.
imaging
Well,
camera. There
3
you
of
go.
us have now mentioned it. That's it.
There you go. There you go. So
Thank you,
yeah,
Jim.
which
There you
didn't
go.
which didn't exist when I was a firefighter.
there you go. There you go. Thermal imaging camera, and that picture of Jim right there. Ironically,
You took it.
okay. No, well, yeah, I did take it
However,
in my old house that no
burned down.
longer exists because it burned down. There you go. So-
No shit.
and the fire department that showed up on the scene did everything wrong.
I can't say that.
80% of it was wrong.
A perfect
You're-
storm of shit happened. How's that? There you go.
And they didn't help.
And it wasn't
you know,
my fire department. I was
most
not on that
fires-
department, so
Most house fires start because we now cook inside. My
it,
kitchen.
it was not. It didn't start at my house. It started next door and came to
Oh
my house.
shit. Okay, well, it probably started in their kitchen though.
No, it didn't. I'll tell you later.
And it's funny because there was
What do I know?
There's one point.
No, you're right, but it didn't.
There's one
Not this
point
time.
where my desk was next to the window, and I was looking at the window one day, and there was a house fire running, and I'm sending up the pictures and some video to a group that were in Johnny's in it, and the way they had set everything up, John's like, they should have done this when my house burned down, because the Anakin was it the North Hudson Fire Department knows what the hell they're doing. And if you look when this house burnt down, and I'm watching the whole thing, the building next to it, some of the vinyl peeled, but only some of it. Every house next to it survived because of what they had done. They had done what John was yelling at the fire department in the town that he lived in to do, and they were not doing. So there's ways to do it right. There's ways to not do it as right. But we'll hear, and it's been...
That's why we train.
Yeah, that's why we train. But they've appeared on the show many times audibly.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you this: when you take Tony, you're taking Fire Officer 1, Fire 1. I've taken Fire 1, Fire 2, Fire 3, Fire Officer 1, Fire Officer 2. Jim has as well. When you take officer training, okay, you're taught the first thing you're taught, other than rescue operations. Okay, if there's life in there, that's number one. That supersedes everything.
Always.
Other than that, beyond that, the first thing you're taught is when you pull up at a scene, you have to establish a water supply. That's number one. And the number two thing you have to do is protect the exposures.
Mm-hmm.
Then put the fire out.
Yeah.
Because the building that's burning already is already burning.
Here, and where we live, there are actually only 4 hydrants, and they're actually on the water supply. It's not a city water because there's no city. It's not an incorporated city. There's a water co-op out here, and the hydrants that we use are actually they're not ones we use to fight the fire to plug in. They're just ones we use to refill.
Right.
And so that's one of the greatest challenges out here.
You drive the vehicle.
Tender, it's the tanker. You drive that. Yeah. You bring the water to the fire. Is what
right?
Yeah.
Always.
There's even look, Bergen County, New Jersey. Okay, the county in New Jersey that's in the northeast corner of New Jersey that has the most exposure to New York City as far as the county goes.
Oh, I think that's got more than Bergen.
Well, no. Well, if you include all the way up to Alpine, it does. There's more, but whatever. Anyway, so it's
per person.
Is this a fire podcast?
Yeah, right. But anyway, my point is, Bergen County, New Jersey. There's 2 or 3 towns in Bergen County that still, to this day, 2024, don't have hydrants. They have tankers in Bergen County. So.
Okay, so here's a question. Bringing back the beer.
Okay,
you have spent 17 hours fighting fire.
Mm-hmm.
You get back to the firehouse. You peel off your boots. The helmet goes back up. You gotta fold hose because everyone's gotta. All that's done. Everything's back. The tank's refilled. All the Scott packs are back on the Cascade system. It's all done. What beer are you cracking once that's all done?
Hans Pils.
Hans Pils.
Every time.
Hans Pils. That's
Every
a
time,
Pilsner.
baby.
A Pilsner. I'll tell you right there. A Pilsner.
Johnny?
They make a beer called Fireman's. The same brewery, Real Ale, makes a beer called Fireman's Board, but it has nothing to do with firefighters. It's
I got
bicycle company named Fireman's.
Johnny, what do you?
a Pilsner, but I got to be honest with you. You got to remember my formative firefighting days were back in the 80s when at the firehouse.
There's nothing wrong. There's no wrong answer here.
It was Miller Lite. It was if it was anything else, I didn't have it, but it was Miller Lite. And then later on, honestly, back, even when I was on a second department I was on, I pushed the issue to even get Yingling in there. But occasionally I did leave some beer at the firehouse. A couple of the guys that were drinking craft beer did leave some beer at the firehouse, or whatever was considered craft beer back then.
But what are you going to crack after a day like that?
Specifically, style-wise, a Pilsner, a light.
Because for me, PBR.
Oh, I mean, it works.
It's a guilty pleasure of mine. It is one of my grilling timers. You can say what you want about it. You can hate on it if you want, but for me, when if I've done mowing the lawn on a hot summer day, I would always have PBR in the fridge in the summer.
Hey, and all this talk of beer and fire, I've got to go fire hose something.
You do?
Hey, yeah, I gotta go take care of these. I looked into the fire on some of these plants out here.
See if you can find a Chuckwalla.
I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you a bit when we're done. So don't sign off.
I'm not leaving. I just really got to pee.
Just
we can't drink 5 beers. I'll be back.
John's going to do the outro while you pee.
I'll do the outro while you're peeing.
But we'll hold the show up until you get back.
Exactly.
All right.
So
I'll be right back.
You got it. All right. So, and he's going to.
I certainly hope he finds a Chuckwalla.
Oh, no, I know. This is going to be an Augie
because that's the funniest
moment.
thing.
This is going to be an Augie Cart moment because he took his Bluetooth with him, and that's his headset too.
Maybe, and especially.
Can you hear it?
Oh, yeah.
We can hear you, but we can't hear you peeing, actually. So your earbuds are.
Well, it's because you're not hitting a tree like Augie did. Yeah. Oh, shit. That was the third time I said his name.
Oh, no.
Trees? Oh, he's showing up, isn't he?
Shit. But did you find a Chuckwalla?
Me? No.
Damn it.
Yeah. There you go. Hold on. Jim's got it right. He said he's going to check for extension.
Yeah.
I talked about fire extension before. He's going to check for extension. We do it all the time. I got to go check for extension. There you go.
So Tony's just making sure that everybody on the compound is safe.
Oh, yeah. Checking the perimeter here.
There you go. All right. Folks, all of you watching that we're expecting to see mostly a beer podcast tonight, you saw a lot. We talked a lot about beer, but we did talk about the fire service. Now, there is going to be some of you, and I promise, those of you that are not, involved in it or even, interested, aware of. There are a lot of you out there that were expecting to see beer that actually can relate or are interested or whatever. So for those of you, the few of you that are not, definitely.
And mezcal.
Mezcal. The few of you that are not interested, I apologize. We apologize, but maybe you learned something. Hopefully you did. All right.
Well, this is one of those things.
Support your local VFD.
Exactly. Yes. Support your local volunteer fire department, rescue squad, and ambulance.
But here's the thing: this is one of the few times we've had 3 people on the show.
4 technically, if you count Jim.
If you count Jim, that were all volunteer firefighters, right? And it's going to be talked about, and it's an important role in the community.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think everybody understands.
I think the most important part of it is that most volunteer fire departments are in really small communities, and everybody that's a part of it is like every call you show up to, it could be somebody you know.
Yeah,
Very good.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And to
Oh,
be
that's a great point right there.
and to point this out, okay, and this is not speculative. This is not I'm not exaggerating. This is a true average, okay? For every one paid fireman in the entire firefighter, excuse me, for every one paid firefighter in the entire United States, there's 1,000 volunteer firefighters.
Wow, I thought
Wow,
it'd be,
really?
I thought it'd be
I
a
had no idea.
little. I was thinking maybe at least 100, 1,000.
For every one
So-
paid firefighter, there's 1,000 volunteer firefighters.
So
Here we thought we were special.
no. Here's the thing, Tony. You still are because you're still serving.
Mhm.
Hey, man,
you don't need to.
I'm
There's
proud to do it.
There's
nothing-
a term that people use in the volunteer fire service called unpaid professionals.
Yeah. And Tony, you are doing something right now that there is no logical reason you should be doing. John
Correct.
did it for how many years did you do it, John?
Jeez, till I actually till I was last active,
Yeah.
30, just shy of 30 years.
I only did it for 2 years.
Mhm.
2 years in college. But it's one of those things that it's a special breed. Are the people who do it, are they insane? Probably.
Mhm.
But it's one of those things where you're putting someone else's life above your own, because it's the job, and it's a special breed, and so I have no problem.
But you're also at the same time you're learning how to protect your own life, so you can keep doing that.
Not only just your life, but your brother's lives.
That's right.
If you ever saw the movie Backdraft,
Oh yeah.
And
All right.
everyone gave Backdraft a lot of crap because you could see what was going on.
Well, look, Jim and I saw Backdraft in the theater when it first came out. In fact, we went the second day, with dates and everything else. We were at the theater.
What was your thought
And-
on it?
Oh, it was Hollywood, right? I mean,
It
like
is Hollywood.
I mean, like
However,
when
there's
Kurt
a however.
Russell, when Kurt Russell and William Baldwin went running up the stairs without packs on, no smoke. The door was actually bowing out, like extending, like it was somebody's
Yep.
blowing on it. Yeah, that doesn't happen, folks.
No.
That's all Hollywood. But
Hollywood.
what they were doing was real, and it was. But I was going somewhere with this. I forget where I was going. Talk again. I'll think.
My thing about Backdraft is one of the biggest complaints about Backdraft is that there was no smoke. That did not replicate the conditions a firefighter fights in. It was Ron Howard, wasn't it?
Ron Howard directed it.
Yeah, Ron Howard defended it, saying, look, I understand that the firefighters can't see what they're doing in this,
Mhm.
but the audience needs to see what they're doing. So we backed off on this.
No. You can exactly. You deal with it that way. Exactly.
But the thing is, Backdraft itself is a very real issue. A lot of firefighters have lost their lives to Backdraft.
Mhm.
They've also lost their lives to flashover. Flashover is the point where everything in a room has reached a temperature where everything spontaneously combusts.
Mhm.
And when that happens, even though the firefighter itself might not spontaneously combust, when everything around them is turning into pretty much incendiaries, it's really you're not going to survive that.
Were you, Dave? Were you ever caught in a flashover?
No, I was only the story I told about being in that one burning structure,
Right,
marine
right.
biology. It's the only burning structure I was in. I was only in the fire department for 2 years.
Mhm.
I did not see a lot of burning structures. It was the only time I was ever in one. I was in a lot of drills that were really cool. One that was dangerous that I mentioned. So when John talks about war stories, John can probably go on for probably 10 hours with his war stories. Everyone listening have heard all of mine. That's
Anyway.
it.
All right.
Seriously,
and
this is
I'm only 9 months in, so I'm only. I mean,
Hey.
yeah. I was a university. We were actually referred to as a fire brigade.
Fire brigade. Fire brigade.
Fire brigade, because I was at a
Same
university.
thing. Same thing. Different.
Same
It's
thing,
not
but
a-
we're at a fire brigade. I was a volley. The only other cool story I had was the fact that I was there was a fire going on. Well, getting to marine biology, the marine biology fire. Getting to it, I had my blue light running, and when the security people from Rutgers were trying to stop me, and I turned around him to get to the firehouse, he chased me because he was told to cordon the area off because of the fire. He
But
chased
not
me.
for the firefighters.
Yeah, no. He confronted me. So our chief dressed him down, going, "You see that blue light? That blue light supersedes your little dinky yellow light."
There's another
Yeah.
picture of me there. Yeah.
Oh, there
Right.
we go. But
I have that's the only two I actually have access to right now.
but so the thing is, my experience is not it's not huge. I've got some there's some cool stories. I went through some cool stuff. But if we were to actually really start swapping stories, it would be a whole 4 to 5 hour podcast of John telling nothing but of what he's gone through,
Awesome.
So,
because he's been there so long. So in about 5-6 years from now, Tony will
I will inevitably have some very interesting stories.
100%.
from this
You will.
region.
especially if you're behind the wheel of one of the vehicles. Yes, absolutely.
exactly.
I'll try to get some video from our training this coming weekend. I'll make
There you go.
So,
And the only reason I did not continue in the firefighter realm after college was
You wanted to drink beer.
No,
Wait a minute, that
because
goes together.
those two things go together. No, I moved around too much to be able to settle into one place.
right. Hey, one of the hardest parts out here, and one of the best roles of the volunteers out here is we actually live here, and it's really like people call into 911 with an address. They don't exist. I mean, like there's a lot of stuff out here that you just have to know where it's at.
But that's
And you
an
don't
important
say-
point.
You can give me the address and I'll look it up, and it doesn't even come up on a Google map. But if you go, hey, it's next to Herman's place, I go, oh, okay, cool, we'll be right there.
But that's the important thing. Volunteer firefighters are part of the community,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
and that's what makes them rush into that
and-
building.
The coolest thing I've gotten to do so far as a volunteer firefighter was to go do a fire drill at the school. It was awesome. We had so much fun because I know a lot of these kids. When I took my mask off, it was really funny. There's a little coffee shop here in town.
Hey, it's Tony.
No, it's even better than that. There's a little coffee shop here in town, and a grandmother and a mother. They're the mom and a daughter work there together. They're the grandmother and mother of this really amazing little precocious kid, and she's up there sometimes, and I see her a lot, and she only knows me as Alacran because when they call my order, they say, Alacran, your order's ready. So
There you
we
go.
showed up on air, and we
Jeez.
explained to them, we wanted them to see what it looked like. So if we ever have to come to your house and pull you out of there, that this spaceman looking thing is there to save you, right?
Yeah.
And so
There you
then I pull it off, and this little kid is sitting there in school, and she goes, Alacran! It was awesome, man.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta
So,
love it.
John, you've got to explain Jim's last comment.
Do I have to?
You do.
All right. Jim just said
'Cause I just
after
read this, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. You need to
Eh,
explain this.
after I said what I said before, and I asked Dave. Well, here I'll put it up. He said, "Rich's curtains, bro. Glad to still have you." When I asked Dave if he was caught in a flashover ever, and he said no.
Oh, so you were.
I was in Rich's curtains in that fire. Yeah. So that was not fun, but it's a story I can tell. So yeah.
And if you survived the flashover, that's
Man, maybe
We
we
were
should just do the fire room guys.
we firearm guys. Yeah.
fire room, guys.
We were
John-
very fortunate. We were very thank God we were very fortunate. We went in that building about 4 times. We were about halfway into the building. It was burning all above us in the ceilings. and we pulled out and broke the glass in front, and it cut one of the lines. And we didn't know, this is back in the 80s. We didn't know that we could have left. We still would the hose would still hold pressure. We weren't aware of that because we actually just got the new hose that could do that, right? So we
Oh, you lost pressure in the middle of a curtain fire?
No, we didn't. We couldn't find the fire. We were hitting it above. It was like 3 ceilings. It was all up in there burning. And we pulled out, we broke the glass, and it cut one of the lines. Thank God it cut one of the lines. But we didn't know we could keep the pressure in the line, even though it was split open and water was coming out. So we pulled the line out, shut the line down, drained it, changed the length, and then went back in again. And we only got about maybe 20 feet, 15 feet into the building.
Oh, God.
And it flashed over.
If you're
If we were in there, I wouldn't be sitting here right now talking to you.
Right.
Yeah, because the whole thing, when you get something that's just full of fabric like that, oh, that's
And it's hanging floor to ceiling, you know?
Yeah, you're talking a curtain shop, right?
Curtain shop, yeah.
So the whole shop is full of fabric.
Yep.
That is a prime
Much
environment.
fuel. So much fuel in there.
So much fuel. Oh my! And you broke the window out, which means you've got oxygen in there.
And they already vented in the back. They weren't on the roof yet, but they vented the front just because we wanted to find the fire. We couldn't find the fire, right? You had to find the fire before you could put it out. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, flash
we
out.
Find it. We heard it. We were in there. We were halfway in the building, and we heard it burning above us. So we're hitting it. We're not seeing anything. There was 3 roofs in there, and it was burning all up in there.
Wow.
So when I said we pulled out, we broke the window. Literally broke the window to vent it, yes, but to pull the fire down so we could see where it was, so we could put it out. Right? So there was nothing wrong with that, but it cut one of the lines, and we turned the line off. We pulled it out, drained the line, changed the length.
That's what saved you.
Went back in. That's what saved us. We only got about 15, 20 feet in the building when it flashed, and we made a beeline for the door. You know,
somebody was watching out for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was going to say that story too. I was going to say that story Tony said before about a deck gun. The monitor, you know, the deck gun that uses the remote or whatever. Back then we had a deck gun on the engine or whatever, and we decided. And after it flashed, right now it's all it's defensive, right? It's all outside, surround and drown is what we called it, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's going in anymore. The fire is all through the roof, so we're just pouring water on it, right? So we took the deck gun off the truck and we put it down as a ground monitor.
Truck.
Yeah, because you could do that.
You could do that when I was a firefighter. You couldn't do that.
Yeah, no, some are detachable, some are not. But we took the deck gun off the truck. We put it down on this grate. It was called a ground monitor. We hooked 2 3-inch lines up to it to flow the water up to it. Off the side discharges off the pump, and we were flowing water. And the guy, God rest his soul, Don, he was driving the truck that day. He was the pump operator, and we said, and the chief said, charge the deck gun. So instead of charging the 2 discharges that were supplying the hose to the deck gun, he charged the deck gun, which had a pipe coming up with nothing out there because we took the deck gun off. And the water came out, hit the pump pedal, and went straight up in the air. It's so
awesome.
But you're here to tell the story. That's the important
No, it's great. Now he even loved telling it. God rest his soul. He was a great guy. He was chief. Don was chief in 81. He was chief. So he's an older guy, but yeah.
Well, boys, I got to eat some dinner.
Yeah, so do we.
All right.
Well, stick around for 2 seconds, though.
No, yeah, I'm not going.
Yeah, stick around, but we got to wrap it up. We've been going 2.5 hours. Cheers to everybody, not just the 3 of us. Everybody in the volunteer fire service.
You got to make me pour some.
No. Look, I'm cheering, Dave. I'm cheering with one little drop of this stout. So
I've got
cheers.
This is half a shot. Yeah. Everybody who serves. There's no reason that impels you to do this.
Fire service, rescue squad, ambulance corps, police department, armed forces.
But I'm talking
everybody.
I'm talking the volleys.
Yep.
There's nothing that impels you to do this other than just something broken in your brain. God bless you all. Protect you all.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Salute.
My father always said, you got to be a little special to go running into a building that everybody else is running out of.
A little special?
And when he said special, he did not mean special. He meant
insane.
Special.
You got to be quite insane to run into a building that's burning where everyone else is
Exactly.
running out of it.
Yeah.
And those people should be celebrated. And I say that knowing that at one point I was one of those people and would have been one of those people had I not moved around enough and not been able to commit to a fire department. Now I'm a little too old to do that shit.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a young man's game. I
It is.
couldn't do it. I moved to another town. Like I said, I haven't joined in the town I'm in right now. If I do, I'm driving a truck. I'm a safety
Yeah.
officer. I'm not. If I had to do it, I'd do it. Right. But
Well,
it's not. It's a young man. It's a young
I don't have the experience now to be useful to anybody. And with the long COVID, it would probably I'd be useless.
wouldn't work. Yeah.
I'd be useless.
Anyway, all right. Tony's got to eat. I got to eat. We got to talk after we sign off before either of us eat. So on that note, we'll wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
All of it
all of it. And of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room.
at
Remember-
the same time.
Absolutely. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes, pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast.
I've told them to shorten the list, but
I like saying it. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you will find the Lager Room Craft Beer Guys podcast. The Lager Room Guys Craft Beer.
What? You just changed the name of the
The Lager Room Craft Beer Guys. Now we are the Lager Room Craft Beer Guys.
Shit, I gotta change all the let's change all the cards.
You
We
will
gotta
find
change-
the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Tony, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it every time you're coming on.
And a really important point right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is a badass image of Tony right now.
That is one badass image. That is one badass image, Tony.
It's like
Folks, listening to the audio podcast, you're going to have
that's
to tune
even
in
more.
at
Oh,
2 hours and 35 minutes
no,
just to see this image.
do that again. That was amazing. This is I'm coming
Hey,
for
right
your
there.
soul.
That's 236.45. You got to see that. 40. 236.40. There you go. Anyway,
At the end of the show.
exactly. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Buenas noches.
Oh, I like nachos.
There you go.